my stuff here, so it's been 2 weeks. So now when I ruin my eyes now, I'll just say it to you. You told me I'd go back after 2 weeks, so we'll have. I got the goggles on swimming, right?
You'll be fine.
It should be fine. We've got our little lube going on here.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Right here. AbbVie, by the way, producing this, so good. All right, man.
I'm the same way. Like I'm like that as well. Like when you look at stocks all the time, like I remember when I was going through like a hospital, and all I was noticing was like, what's the company on the box of whatever. Yeah. Like I saw Medtronic everywhere, and then I was seeing Abbott Labs.
Abbott Labs, eh?
Like you can't go 5 feet in a hospital without seeing something by Abbott Labs. But it's just when you look at stocks, that's how you start to think of things. Looking forward to whatever this, I guess, country chicken stew is going to be like, because I have no idea.
Stew, you get a gravy in there. I mean, I think you're going to like it.
I'm looking forward to it, but you guys should be looking forward to Joey Runway.
Yep.
And Sharief, the professor himself.
Yep. They're both here.
Go get them. I promise you, one of them shall be looking at the quantum names, at least.
Both.
Boom. Oh no, boom, boom. Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the Midday Show. That's your boy Joey Options, and I'm Sharief. And I got Rob here to help me.
Oh yeah,
so you're gonna have to do the shout out.
Yeah, no problem. I got the shout outs all day, every day. Sharief's working on some computer stuff, and I was this morning as well too. But now we're up and running, and we're rocking and rolling. Let some people tune into the stream. I got the wrong one up here. Get it together. But hey, by all means, we're gonna rock and roll as soon as I get to pull up this chat. We're live, baby, and we're gonna continue to do it exactly how we have been. We don't want the mobile. We don't want any of that. We want to go to what we're currently watching, patiently waiting. Let's go Tesla. I'm still going. All right. It's time for roll call. Let's see who we got here in the chat. We got Britt Brennan, morning fellows, Dexter Smith, Party P, let's go.
Crazy.
Dexter Smith says, Joey Runways, oh boy, what's up? Overtime, showtime, VB, Odyssey, fights, let's go. Fresh Trades, Hikam Ishman, Lil Mama, what's going on, Lil Mama? Sloth, my boy Joey, what's cooking, my guy, what's cooking? And then we got Isberfin, what's up? Sorry if I butchered your name on that one. Joey, Justin L, Joey Management is right. A couple more, Magical Johnson, and your Huckleberry, and we can't forget our guy, Mike P. The Writer. Tesla new high. Never mind that. We're going to Adara in uno momento. There, bang. We catch a fill on Tesla. We've been riding this thing all day. I had an espresso and we're rocking and rolling. Hold on, man. Right. Boom, boom. Bang. Adara, what do you got? Who hit that? Why?
I feel like you're having a little bit of an issue.
He's glitching the theater, man. All right.
Adara.
We got to go to Adara.
I have IBKR, guys, a name I know you both like and are involved in a little bit of a push higher here with IBKR Interactive Brokers. CNBC saying that Josh Brown calls this one a log idea, saying it's a little bit cheaper than Robinhood, which of course is in the same space. So IBKR, nice pop here, guys. Back to you.
Just got to cover this because they're breaking out now. All right, guys, we have two big ones today in the world of small cap gappers. The biggest, the baddest of them all. SCNX. This is a halt parameter coming up here. We might get a gray out 162. We're about to halt here on SCNX if we're not already halted. My scanner's a little delayed. Okay, so this is a really, really good stair step up. Look at the defense of the 10 EMA on the 5. Nary a breach, wick, closer, otherwise halted to the high side at 162. We also got to keep an eye on AIRE. Another one breaking out to the tune of 20 some odd percent. We got to keep an eye on this one as it is at the high of the day, 90 penny high, looking to take the dollar. And then last but not least, NPWR just rocketed off that 3 1/3 close, breaching through 407 high, 17 3/4%, Joey. Those are the three I'm keeping my eye on.
You're keeping your eye on.
Yes,
Guess
sir.
you just walked in the door after the birthday party.
Well, you know,
it's me.
Not a moment too soon,
Make
bro.
Sure you stay
Not a
till
moment
7
too
o'clock.
soon.
Make sure you stay till 7. Oh, okay. All right, bang. Just for the show. Andrew,
nice.
You guys are loving the energy, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go through too many espressos because then I'll crash hard.
Is that a me espresso? A me espresso.
know. I don't know the song. But
Sabrina Carpenter, bro.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you don't know that song?
No.
Obi loves it.
Obi loves it. All right.
That's crazy.
Andrew Sandoval, appreciate all the love there, guys. We're just been cooking up on TSLA all day, our only trade. But please, make sure you like and subscribe. It's not that difficult. It's essentially free.
That's
Juan,
ridiculous.
hey, man.
21.5%.
Hey, man.
That's crazy.
Haters going to hate Juan Padilla. No, I know you're only joking around there. Come on, Juan.
What's going on over there, Juan?
The chosen one. But anyways.
Even that tack guy is asking, is that Joey with a sweater around his neck?
Yeah. Listen, I'm channeling my inner ADL here.
This monitor's in the way of the camera. This displeases me greatly, Assassino.
Oh,
you notice this, Assassino?
Oh, look, you can see
look
the
at
corner.
that, Assassino.
You can see the corner of it.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
we gotta get that taken care of right there. Yeah.
Where's the Lambo? I know, man. We don't got that just yet.
We're gonna get the
Don
Lambo.
Lewis. Yeah, man. You know, we bossing up. Literally, this is just my sweater that I wear every day here when it's well, not every day when it's cold. And I'm just like, you know what? Let me get.
Well, you know, for the summer, I think Joey Shivers went on vacation. But as we get into the fall, Joey Shiver returns.
As soon as that temperature starts to cool down, it's immediately. Is that casual, Joey? Yeah, we can call it whatever. You guys love it.
Your boy Joey Options is locked up. Locked up. No, because he was looking for that Friday date, but they don't know. There's a missus at home. There's a Mrs. Joey Options at home.
At home. Yeah.
Shut up.
Preppy Joe, what's up, Joey Perry? No, in all seriousness, guys, we'll take a look at this trade from earlier in the morning. I love all the you guys are giving pure love in the chat today, man. Lil Mama, what's up? Kalua, what's up? Good seeing you guys in the chat. Lil Ma. But yeah, let's get right into work here, guys. TSLL, the only trade of the day, and we grab it off the lows, and then we get that breakout, volume punching through those pre-market highs and the previous high of the day. So we're cooking up. To be honest, I don't have much left. 3% of my actual position. So we're just gonna rock and roll, leave it as a runner, Sharief, and see how high Tesla wants to climb today. Yesterday we were grinding in the blue O. Guess what I was working on last night, Sharief?
What were you working on?
Well, everybody probably already knows it because I haven't stopped talking about it for the past couple of days. But hold on here, I want to pull something up momentarily, and just to show you, like, hey. We're grinding blue O last night, and that's what happened. So I was short, and then I'm like, hey, that doesn't make sense. We just flip to the long right away, straight away to jail, and then we just get out right there. So working on the go, and then the algo that is, and then also trading a little blue O. So it was a good one yesterday evening, having lots of fun. But other than that, we're going to be rocking and rolling on Tesla all day. I think there's going to be multiple opportunities, and Bitcoin looks like it wants to break out. Maybe we get involved with that too.
Absolutely, Joey. We're going to keep an eye on that. All right. I'm involved here, AIRE, looking for the squeeze into $1. We got a couple of beak wetters already through the spike into 97 pennies and change, Assassino. We're keeping an eye on this one. Look, I expect it to fail here. Not fail, but have trouble. We're awfully close to the dollar. I'm expecting resistance into that dollar area. Let's go ahead and wet the beak a little bit here as we've got some shares on this one. I'm also waiting for SCNX to open up. I see your message in the chat, Eduardo. Shout out to you, my man. Haven't seen you in a hot minute. He's asking if I'm looking at BYND. I'm going to continue to watch BYND. Right now, it is negative on the day. It's got to get above that 358, 360 area in order to get into Greensville. I won't be trading it as a long, so long as it's negative on the day. So I'm just going to maintain that sort of bias towards it. And if it starts catching a bid, believe me, I'm looking right at it. Shout out to Assassino. Thank you for throwing that on, brother. So that's the deal now. We're going to keep an eye on that. SCNX is open. Okay, so this one was halted at 172. It's dropping a little bit right now. Let's see if this one's got the juice to kind of let the longs loose into 172. We just took 64s. There's a seller at 66. We take out some at 67. Let's see if current bar low takes us to 157. It'll have to hold current bar low for me to stay involved. Otherwise, we'll get out and we'll look to set up at $1.40. Why do I say that $1.40 area? Because that is where the 10 EMA on the 5 is. Let's see what it does with that 150 area first. Watching here as SCNX zigs and zags. I could work into this. I don't mind working into this with that 140 area being sort of my line in the sand. So it's up 177%. Let's ride the trend. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work into this position. I'll be building my position into that $1.40 or low 140s, we'll see, before, you know, we add some real size into there. So, pardon me. So just looking for continuation here, Joey, on SCNX up 177%.
Good stuff. All right, my friend Kurt Hutchings. Joe, say hi to Biff and Muffy.
Oh, wow.
Hi, Biff. Who is it? Do you know?
Oh, I just thought they were like, I thought he was taking a shot at you. I don't know who those
No,
were,
no,
so.
someone asked me to say hi, so I'm going to say hi to Biff and Muffy. Go Blue Jays. It's all good, my friend. All right, there we go. Bitcoin, we're rocking and rolling. Bob, someone says Bob is moving. I was looking at Joby as well, but never mind Tesla. We're going to rock. We're going to hold on to this. But there goes Bitcoin. See, the thing is, though, pretty solid day on Tesla. Now I'm just going to rock and roll, risk a percentage of my day, and there it goes. Wow, what a big time move in IBIT. My boy Rusty Dutch is buying it as well. We'll take 10% off right up here, because why not? Shout out to why not. Also, we're going to Adira, guys.
Yeah, I just want to let you guys know here with these quantum names, I am seeing a report coming through from a Yahoo Finance reporter on X saying that this report that we got earlier from the Wall Street Journal suggesting that the government or the U.S., the Trump administration is in talks to take equity stakes in quantum computing companies. This Yahoo Finance reporter is saying that's not necessarily true. So apparently, if they do this, it would be leftover money from the CHIPS Act. There's not a lot of details, but either way, a Yahoo Finance reporter questioning this report a little bit, suggesting that the U.S. government is considering taking stakes in quantum names. Back to you.
Very much there, guys. Yeah, APLD has been on an absolute monster run. This stock has been crazy for the past couple of months, and we've been talking about it for quite some time. So, I mean, this thing's rocking. But keep an eye out for this, right, guys? I mean, with options, you can only lose so much, but at the end of the day, you don't want to be paying here unless you're writing. You can obviously lose infinity. But 143%. That's really expensive in my opinion. The further you go out, the less that IV will be. So if we go to March or something along those lines, 120%, I mean, you get an 8% drop down, but yeah, our APLD has been on a phenomenal run without any form of questioning. Market's starting to come back in a little bit here, but Tesla's still holding up really strong, Sharief, so that's positive. Okay. We take 10% off on IBIT up there, and let's see if we can hold this breakout zone. If not, then we'll just get out break even, and then hopefully we can get in at a lower price at some key support levels and then make a trade based off of that. Because where I am right now is essentially a breakout trade. We were fortunate enough to get the volume to step in our direction and in our favor, but currently right now we're getting that aggressive pullback, and the volume is starting to increase as well too, Sharief. So I have to keep that in mind. Break even, we're out. Anything lower, we're going to look for that re-entry.
All right, sounds good, Joe. That's a plan. All right, speaking of a plan, we got a plan over here as well on SCNX, looking for this one to defend the 10 EMA. I've got 52s on now, having worked my way into this position. Let's see if we hold up at the 10. As I spoke about earlier, I perceive price action support to be around that 140 area, and we know psychological support could come around the $0.50. To me, that's less of I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, a less likely setup, put it that way, okay? So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find these areas where buyers are stepping in, watching the level 2, watching the 5-second chart on my top screen, looking for this one to hold up at around this area. Now, I do have a plan DCA, as I mentioned. I like the 140-ish area as an area of support. So if it does drop into here, I want to get some more shares, with my ultimate out being, you know, below that 140 area. So right now, holding up at about 165%, doing the dance here, a little above 150, a little bit below. Really nothing for me to execute on right now, other than to wait for the price to manifest either to the downside and get filled for my plan DCA, or to wait for this one to pop back up. And here we go, dropping into my DCA. I don't know why it's not filling me. There we go. That's going to be a halt parameter, so I have to get out of that. That's fine. We can add right back in as it's a false halt there. That's good. So we'll pop back in into 45. So now let's post at 47. Let's post at 50s as well. So that one scared me because it looked like it was initiating a halt parameter on the way down. I don't want to be caught in a halt on SCNX. So holding up at the $1.40 is what we're doing right now. So this is the 10 EMA. So this is going to be my line in the sand. If it loses the 10 EMA, I'm not looking at this again until about 110 or so. So keeping an eye on this one. Separately, I'm still holding on a piece for AIRE. It's not breaking down. It has that topping till through $1 into 101, which is fine because the subsequent candle on AIRE has a higher low. So that means we're still maintaining trend, and I'm okay with that. NPWR slowing down, nothing for me to do there. So I'm going to focus the majority of my brain capacity, so to speak, on SCNX, Joe.
All right, good stuff there. Let's take a little bit more out on Tesla. So yeah, that worked out there, guys. 1% remaining there. So essentially nothing.
Unreal.
I'm just letting it rock and roll. The bulk of the trade was out at VWAP. I was out roughly around 30 to 40%, and then the rest is just boom, 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 all the way up to the top side. Bitcoin was just a big-time grab into the support levels, aka the previous support levels, now acting previous resistance levels acting as current support. So this might continue to rock and roll. So we'll keep an eye out on that one. But we can't complain, guys. A really nice move in Tesla and a big-time recovery. We talked about us trading Blue Ocean the other night as well too. I'm curious, are you guys trading Blue Ocean? I wasn't going to until Jose's like, yeah, it's going to be really in play. And then sure enough, I think it was around 9:30 or something along those lines. Jose messaged me. He's like, man, the quantum names are going nuts. And unfortunately, we were a little bit too late to that one. And I wasn't going to chase it all the way up there. So not too bad of trading overnight. And we were really starting to enjoy that, considering I got my hotkeys figured out, Sharief, which makes it substantially easier when you are trading on specific platforms. I keep an eye on the Blue Ocean, but haven't traded anything yet, says Mike Peter Ryder. I mean, hey man, take the shot. It's not as bad. If there's a lot of volume, I think you're going to be okay. And honestly, go with the flow. As I was mentioning earlier, I was short initially, and then I'm like, hey, wait, this doesn't make any sense. We're not selling aggressively, and I'm looking at the tape. So we decided to flip long, got back our losses, and then some. So not too bad of a look. Ray, what do you think of PayPal into earnings next week? Thinking of picking up some weekly calls. Let's take a look at PayPal. I didn't get the upgrades and downgrades done today, guys, because I was having computer issues. But I'm pretty sure they were on and initiate a sell and a hold. So let's see what we got going on with PayPal from a daily perspective, and then we can base something on that. There goes Tesla, a brand new high of the day. I'm not going to take anything out until 1940 because we've been cooking on this trade all morning long, baby. PayPal, watch out for this support level. I think we've gone on it over this before, considering we have this drawn. It can go up, but the way that we're currently trading, just be cautious of that 64 level to be broken, and make sure you know what you're doing leading into earnings. The options market will start pricing in that volatility, and with that being said, you're going to have an increase in premiums as well too. So keep that in mind. On that, Stuart from Mad TV look today, loving it, says my guy Charlie Bang Bang. Charlie. Yeah, I was going with that English look, man. For all my my friends out there across the pond, just copying your swag, man, and a little Love Island swag, you know what I mean? That's because what they wear on there. But in all seriousness, guys, there it is on Tesla. I should just hold it for the remainder of the day and do a mock. I could just mock this last 1%.
Smart.
Just because. Hey, you know what I mean? What's going to happen? I don't have much. If it comes back against me a little bit, I'm still not going to lose anything. So just holding a little bit for the dream tree.
All right, guys. SCNX halted down. Thankfully, I was able to get out of this one. It is halted right below the 10 EMA. So I'd like to see how this one's going to open. Right now, it's showing me a top of 132. It halted at 136, so we're already slated to open up a little bit lower, and that will certainly mean that we either close below the 10 EMA or we wick below it and then trend right back up. So I'm keeping my eye on this one. The next level for me is going to be around 110 for SCNX, possibly as a dip trade because it didn't hold up at the 10. Yeah, and that's just the way it is, giving back some here off the 172 high into 136 halt. Now, the one that I'm focused on at the moment is AIRE, looking for this one to hold and try another attempt at $1. It's got the 10 EMA generally below the 90 penny area. I want to say around 88 and change. So we're keeping an eye on that one. I've got, around 88 and change is the 10 EMA. And I also want to point out another one that's weaseling its way onto the scene. I just found this on my scanner now. MSAI just got an aggressive price spike up into that 102 area, 96 pennies. This one closed out at 67 pennies yesterday, and it's trying to break through the dollar. It's up 42%, but I'm worried about this one sort of being, a quick Christmas tree retracement, so to speak. So that's what we're keeping an eye on now. Back to AIRE though, as it comes into that 10 EMA on the 5, looking for this to hold up. We've got 91s on, so let's go ahead and post some at 92s, looking for a hold of that said 10 EMA and a continuation back into that dollar. But we got to keep an eye as well on MSAI. Where's that? MSAI, this one is also working its way right back into that dollar area, 102 the high, showing me 97 pennies at the moment. Going to keep an eye on this one, Joey, especially if it takes out that dollar. I don't want to have to be fighting with these ones south of the dollar. I really want them to clear the dollar aggressively, and then we can kind of use that dollar, I should say, excuse me, as a level of support. So that is what I'm focused on right now. MSAI, AIRE, waiting for SCNX to open back up.
All right, let's pull up our top performing sectors of the day. I got to pull it up on Google Chrome. They got me on Google Chrome now, Sharief. No more Edge. No more Microsoft Edge. Yeah, I was just freezing the old computer these days, man. So, hey, you got to inquire about that. You get that sorted out, and then next thing you know, you're using Google Chrome instead of Microsoft Edge. No, obviously, it makes no difference to me, to be honest with you. No, but in all seriousness, guys, the energy sector leading the way, up 1 1/4, and then we have the tech sector up 8/10, a little bit more than that. In the materials, 0.65%, and then sure enough, the industrials sitting in that 4 place, 4 pockets full on the industrials. Shout out to 4PF, I think. Yeah, that's how it goes. All right, Sharief, for the bottom 3, we got the utilities down 0.5%, consumer staples down 7/10, and the real estate sector almost down a whole percent right there, 0.99 to be exact. Now we're just waiting for Bitcoin to hold this support level and maybe possibly come back into the volume weighted average price. The thing is, though, guys, you have to look at the market moving, and we know that they're correlated, even though we may not love it. You get that little push in IBIT, and now it's starting to come back in. So I think it's really heavily reliant on what's going on in the Nasdaq. Wow, Tesla, there it goes, 431. Where did we close out yesterday? And have we recovered all of that selling on the earnings report? Yes, we had. No, not quite. We closed out around 438. So there's a couple more points, but that gap being filled 110%, guys. So a nice long there, and we're going to continue to watch what's going on. I missed a big time reload on it, Sharief, which kind of sucks. But hey, yeah, I mean, there's always going to be another opportunity.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, you don't want to be overly greedy, but you want to try to perform as best as you possibly can, and that's the VWAP reload. There was an additional reload opportunity right there. So what we got to do, what do we do about it? If we don't want to make the same mistakes twice, we go back, we look at it, and then next time around, we take the stab. Whether it works or not, that's up to the markets, but you have to do it, and that's what we're going to work on. That's one note that we can just do, that we're going to take in and do a little bit better for next time, Sharief.
All right, SCNX back into this one as it's open from the halt and generally holding this area, looking for it to hold current bar low into 135. Let's see if it does. We're going to give this one a little bit more of a chance. Also in here to MSAI, as this one weasels into that dollar area. Let's go ahead and post north of that dollar as well into 103. Let's see if MSAI's got the juice to let this one loose. 102 area high on MSAI. Yeah, sorry, I'm just keeping an eye on AIRE as well, because that one just found an aggressive bid off the volume-weighted average price, popping from 82.5 pennies up into 90. So good strength there. That one forced me out. So it's been a choppy morning here to start the day with the small cap gappers. Trying my hand again at SCNX, looking for this current bar to hold. We got another couple of minutes for this bar to close. I'm talking about the 5-minute candle on SCNX. 172 high, generally holding this area, a prior area of resistance. I'm talking about this 140 area from the 10-20 time slot, up 150%. Or thereabouts. I want to also mention HKPD. This one just got an aggressive bid off 135. It's one that I've been keeping my eye on. HKPD, looking for that one to test the 160 area high as well. But my focus really is going to be on SCNX, looking for this one to hold current bar low. It might lose current bar, so we'll have to risk another 5 pennies on this bad boy if it does not hold up. SCNX giving me a whole bunch of trouble here. I see you guys talking about BYND. It's at the high of the day. I'm going to have to focus on these trades and I won't punch into BYND until it's green on the day. So it's still down about 3 3/4%. So I'll keep tabs on that. I've got it on the side chart. If I'm going to punch into it, I promise I'll let you guys know and what my levels are going to be. So yeah, focusing now on MSAI and SCNX, Joe. There goes MSAI through the dollar. So we're getting a whole bunch of prints there. Looking for continuation though through that dollar, not just a quick spike. We're still south of the high, right? 102 is the high. We're showing 01, so somebody's shorting in here. We're taking profits at 01s, up 50%, but definitely having trouble with this technical area of resistance, Joe.
All right.
Here we go. We're breaking out. 103.
You want to got that going there?
Oh, I didn't even hear SSC. No.
I don't know. I might be hearing things.
No, I didn't hear anything.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, yeah, it is Adara.
MSAI, sorry, just MSAI is breaking out here, guys, into 104, 105 high now. Looking for continuation on this. About 13.25 million shares churning here on this name. Keep your eye out on this one for the dollar hold. Adara.
Going to crypto a bit earlier today because I do want to talk about a story that broke about 10 minutes ago, and I've been spending some time getting more info on. It has to do with the pardon of CZ of Binance, or otherwise known as Changpeng Zhao. So he's been reported, according to the Wall Street Journal, he's actually being pardoned by President Donald Trump. Apparently, Trump has already signed this pardon. Now, this Wall Street Journal report also cites commentary from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. So this does appear to be real. Caroline Leavitt saying that Trump has, quote, exercised his constitutional authority by issuing a pardon for Mr. Zhao, basically saying that CZ was prosecuted by the previous administration because they had a bias against cryptocurrency. So this is a really interesting look here, this pardon. Either way, it's an interesting look here. It could potentially pave the way for Binance's return to the U.S. The company, of course, pleaded guilty in 2023 to violating U.S. anti-money laundering laws. So this is a pretty interesting story. As it develops, I'll keep you guys posted, but I did want to mention that. Now, with regards to Bitcoin, a little bit of base potentially forming here on the daily, a slightly higher low here. And now we're finding some support around that 106, 7,000 level. Let's see what we can do here, because right now 110,000, a little bit of a struggle to get above that point. We'll take a look at Ethereum as well before we send you back to the Bash Brothers. Ethereum, can you see some lower highs and slightly higher lows as well, potentially a wedge forming for ETH. Back to the Bash Brothers. Make sure to like and subscribe.
Oh, it's been a choppy morning, Joe, but finally we're getting a bit of a bid here on MSAI. It's breaking out, Joe, into 111. That's the high. That's where we're at right now. We got 97s on. We got shares on this one. Looking for continuation. There's a prohibitively large seller at 11s. I saw size posted, and then there was no size, but it was churning a hidden iceberg order. Now we're getting more size posted there on the book as we reject 11s, drop into 10s. The question always becomes for me, once we clear this dollar area by 10, 15 pennies or whatever, do we use the dollar area now as a level of support? I don't think we do. Quite frankly, I've seen this story way too much lately. Get above 10, 15, maybe even 20 pennies ahead of that dollar area, only to see the shorts get really aggressive and push this one right back down. So I'm going to try to be a bit more strategic about where I want to get in again.
Do me a favor. You're not paying that trade any justice. Get it in the middle there and zoom in a little bit, my guy. That's a monstrous.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, expand that price a little bit, man. You're not doing that trade any justice.
Hey, we're taking Prince Joey.
Yeah,
I love that. That's so funny, bro.
Let's go, man. Yeah,
right,
we're rocking and rolling, man. Yeah,
Yes,
it's a good day. It's Thursday, Friday Junior, and we all know that the Jays are playing tomorrow, so the city is experience. Yeah, Friday Junior, Mike P. Essentially, it was such an experience to be downtown when the Raptors won and just 100%. Everything just shut down. And you know what? It makes me extremely jealous of the city of Boston. Like, these guys,
I get a lot.
All they do is win. Excuse me. And it's like, man, at some point you got to get tired of the parades. But no, I wouldn't, bro. No, there's never too much winning. There's never too much winning, Sharief. No. But there it is, continuous winuation.
Winuation? I love it.
On TSLA. So that's what we're rocking and rolling on there. So shout out to Joe's vocabulary as well. IBIT, let's get back into that one. What were we talking about earlier? Hey, wait for that pullback. Get in at a lower price. Support holding up right now. And then we get right back into the trade. And I mean, we're in significantly at a 62.33s, and we'll take it at 28s all day, every day, just to see if we can go and test this previous pivot high. So let's go. Yeah, you like that? You like that one, Mike P? The rider. Listen, I'm not going to make the same mistake as last time on that failed. Oh, okay, no, maybe I will. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to take 20% right here, guys, to see if we can catch that bang. Because last time I took 10% off, and I got stopped out on the 90. That's no fun. But hey, got to keep that mental straight. Stick to the game plan. Essentially, nothing happens here. Okay, no problem. 10% you take off comes back to your break even. Was your thesis that good anyways? Nah. So we get right back in, and wow, wow, wow. There goes Tesla, Sharief. Okay. Again, a new high of the day. TSLA absolutely cooking up. It's been a fantastic one so far for me and your boy. And hey, all we're going to do is just continuously trade and put on some solid things. Yesterday was red, full disclosure. But I was never shut down at any point. I was red, grinded back to almost going green, and then I just ended up exactly where I peaked at from a negative standpoint. And guess what I did?
What'd you do?
I'm like, hey, that's it for me. Not in sync right now. We're gonna come back to today, rock and roll, and then now my day is substantially better than that loss that what we had yesterday.
I love it, Joe. Joe, I've been watching SNCX churn. Dang. I want to say millions of shares at this 143 area. This is crazy. The seller at 143 to 144 on SCNX is a committed fellow. Let me tell you, man, there has been a whole lot of chop and churn at this 143, and it doesn't really surprise me. We had trouble with that level before breaking at 1050 and 1055. We also topping tailed through that level at 1020. So it looks like that person there is a very stubborn, you know what, and they're not giving up on that hand. And so we're going to have to wait until they get cleared because, quite frankly, I don't have enough buying power to outdo them. So we're going to have to wait somebody else with that buying power moves them out of the way, and then we'll participate to the high side. About to break out onto 50, says Bovin about SCNX. Bovin, I feel the same way. We got higher lows. We got a green candle that closed as a hammer at 1125. But what I've been watching on the level 2, Bovin, is that monster seller, as I've been talking about, into that 143, 144 area. I'm going to have to insist that they get removed before I weasel back in. MSAI, though, I missed it. Remember I was talking about this? Add to the dollar area. Bro, throw out the orders. I'm complaining to myself here because this one did defend the dollar. Drops back down, holds a dollar to a T, and now we're working back up with a higher low on the 5-minute candle into 108s. Looking for continuation on MSAI. I didn't get any more. That doesn't mean that I can't at this level. I like what I see so far in terms of higher lows. Sadly, though, we also have a lower high, trading at around 108, 107, despite the fact that the high is 111. So continuing to watch that. NPWR was breaking out when we started the show. Then it had a topping tail candle that kind of ended things through 4. And now it's dropping down into 375 where VWAP is. So this could be an interesting buy area. It's up almost 12%. It'll have to hold up at 375 where VWAP is for me to get involved. Otherwise, it's a no-go for me. But keeping an eye on that one, it's going to maintain its place on the side chart until it loses that white line, which is, again, the volume weighted average price. Let me go back to SCNX though, because here we are again back into the into the low 40s, Bovin, 142, 141 a little bit here. Still insisting that this clear that level before I punch in. I'm 0 for 2 on this one, so I don't want to go 0 for 3. You know what happens, Joey? We're in the World Series right now. You got 3 strikes. 3 strikes. They're kicking your ass out. You go sit your ass down and you go get a drink in the clubhouse or something, right?
Go chew on some sunflower seeds or something.
Sunflower seeds.
While you're at it.
That's what they're doing in there, eh?
Yeah.
I got a feeling it might be something else.
Oh,
Joey.
what do you think it is?
I don't know. Zins.
Chat. Chat.
What's happening?
You know what I'm talking about, right?
No, we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
So Neil's laughing too. He's like, "What the hell's happening?"
You know
right?
What chat is? Chat.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Not like the chat, like chat. No, he has no idea because I'm having to explain it here.
Yeah. It's all good.
It's all good.
here's the deal, though.
Whoa.
Go ahead, Joey.
You all right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Got a spiel over there? Well, I got a deal and a spiel over here, Sharief.
Yes, sir.
Bang, money. Yeah, let's go on IBIT as we're starting to cook up there. So IBIT, another little piece off. Man, guys, we're just cooking up today, so not too bad. We're not going to complain. And Tesla's still going on. I'm leaving my 1% as a runner. Let's see how high it wants to go, and then maybe we'll take a little bit off. I think see, the thing is, though, we've got to look at this from a daily perspective. If we're going to fill that gap completely, then that's it. And you might get somewhat of a rejection of it. So, again, I could take it off out here, but why? We're cooking, and you may as well just let it run. Again, it's absolutely nothing from a share standpoint. Okay. So why not and have a little bit of fun with it? And that's something really important. I think that, like, some people say, hey, I have an issue holding on to runners, and I know we were talking about it yesterday in the fact that, hey, at what point do you allow it to run? And a couple of individuals and I were talking about it yesterday, just saying, hey, take the bulk of your position off at your specific target, and then leave that 10-15% as a runner, because essentially it's like, hey, I don't really care about that. I've made the money that I'm looking for. I put on the trade that I was trying to execute, and this is bonus, essentially, at the end of the day. So that's what we're trying to do with Tesla and on IBIT right now. Adara, what do you got for us?
There's some geopolitical stuff here. Commentary from Vladimir Putin of Russia saying that Russia wants to continue its dialogue and that a summit needs to be prepared with regards to his meeting with Trump. So sounds like Putin does want to meet Trump here, and that they want to continue that dialogue. So interesting note. If there's anything else, I'll let you guys know. But a bit of a move here in some stocks on this as we digest these headlines.
KGB agent, he doesn't change. He's just playing mind games. What a guy, bro. All right, we're doing it live here on MSAI. We added into the position, guys. So we took the breakout. There's the 111 breakout. We're showing 15s. I added at 10s. Here we go again. Sorry, 12s, excuse me. We're showing 15s right now, looking for a continuation. But there is a large seller, like, at every dang level. 14, there was a seller. 15, there's a seller. When are the buyers going to run out of money and their sellers are going to take over? Here comes 16. We're barely seeing any size posted here at 15. So the sell orders are coming in live as we speak. I don't want to take out too much over here. We're taking out too much with not enough profit. So huge seller at 15s here that we can't shake right now on MSAI. But I feel like maybe we have kind of left the dollar behind, at least for the moment. I hate to say that because I know I'll jinx it and then it'll head back down. But that seller at 15 is a staunchy little bugger. And there's more sell orders coming onto the gateway now at 15 on MSAI. And all I'm seeing on the tape is yellow and red. That is not what I want to see. I want to see blue and, I want to see green and orange. And I'll explain why in a second. So that 15 seller, look at this. Look at how long we've been posted up here at 15. I'm going to flatten out here and look to take some more profits. Sorry, it's not even letting me, oh boy, I love this platform. It's not even letting me get out here. Maybe I shouldn't get out. I like this actually level. I think I might add into this position if it drops back down into one again. I'm just gonna let this one go. No, I don't need to do that actually. I don't have to actually do that. I can just get more on the breakout. So we're just gonna take it out like that. And we'll see if it takes out 116, we'll get back involved with that one. So MSAI, not a bad one so far. Honestly, though, my only profitable name, negative on AIRE, negative on SCNX. But I'm going to wait here on SCNX because it's holding at this 140 area in a very interesting way. So here's why I say it's interesting. Well, we know there for a fact that there's a big seller at 143 and 144. We saw that ourselves. The issue is, though, we also have a buyer here in the 140 to the low 140s to high 130s. So this is interesting to me. It's about, you know, who's going to be in control. You can try to make educated guesses based on price action. So what I'm looking at right now are lower highs on the 5 on SCNX, but I'm also seeing higher lows, ironically enough, especially if you base your analysis off that 1225 candle that bottomed out into the 20. And there goes, oh, dang it, Joey. MSAI popped up into 19, looking for continuation on this one. We're going with Dara.
On AAPL, guys, I'm seeing reports that the company has lost its legal case in the UK over commissions fees in the App Store, which shows ongoing regulatory challenges for these Mag 7 names. So again, Apple reportedly losing its App Store case in the UK. Back to you.
Surprised about that? The broke continent needs to actually, take money off American companies. I'm not surprised, but it's just another day, another cash grab.
Yep, big time, big time. I agree with you there, my friend. That's exactly what it is. Let's look at QS. We haven't really talked about QuantumScape. I was thinking for a long time that this was a quantum play, so thank you for informing me on my ignorance there, Sharief. So some nice batteries. There it is. Like, so you have this ABCD type pattern, A, B, C, boom, D, and then now you're starting to get that downwards channel once again. Maybe you get a little bit of a pop once that resistance zone in the upper band of that channel is snapped, and then you can get a 5-minute print to open up above that $15 level. Maybe there can be a trade within that. But Tesla's still grinding, guys. I don't want to talk about the same names over and over again, so if you have anything specific, put it in the chat. Also, don't forget to vote. I'm going to vote right now, $, even though it never shows up on the thing, I'm just going to continuously do it, Sharief. Can you guess what I voted for?
Tesla.
IBIT. Never shows up, man. Tesla's always on the thing. So we got $, Netflix, RGTI, MARA, and COIN, says Jameson. A lot going on. Adara says $, Netflix as well, too. Is someone in some Netflix trading? I'm really curious to know. Adara off of those lows, I would not be surprised if she is, because that's looking pretty good, and I bet you she's added multiple times. Adara, am I right or am I wrong?
You are right about every point you just made.
Bang.
So, yeah,
that's it.
go.
I know my peers. So there it is. Nice look there, Sharief. Not too bad. And a nice little stair step higher on IBIT as well. So nice work there on Adara. On the Netflix, hey, too expensive for my liking, and I'm glad that she's taking on those trades as well. But there, boom, IBIT and TSLL working really nice for us, Sharief, as it's continuing to climb higher today.
All right, SCNX took out that 144 level. Now it's dealing with 150, well, the 150 area, but it's there it goes into 150. Nice, we got 46 ons here, so we'll continue to take some prints. Looking for a nice price spike up above that 150 area, but it's a stair-step up sort of affair with this one. It needs to clear this 150. This is a choppy trade, dude. There's really no continuity on this, not in the way that we've been seeing. So I'm gonna really need to be alive to that because it just keeps dropping into technical areas. But here we go. We're dropping as well on MSAI into this VWAP area. Let's see if this one holds up. No, it's not going to hold up there, so we'll get out. Focus back more on SCNX. Looking for continuation into the $0.50 on this one. Also keeping an eye on AIRE to get back into 90s. I see that's curling off the volume weighted average price. This one over here looks like it found a bit of a bottom at 82. Let's see if it can work up into that 90 penny area. AIRE is the one I'm talking about here, up 21 1/3. But we're focusing right now on SCNX, as it did take out that 45, 44 seller, now having trouble with 50. There's just selling at every level, man. There's selling at every level over here. And that just usually means that it's going to be a tough trade for these small cap gappers as the shorts want to be in control. And so I'm not going to short these. So if there's really no trades for me to have because of the choppiness, I'm not going to trade for no reason. So going to keep an eye out on that, Joe.
Okay, all right, good stuff there. Just reading a little bit on Adara's trade. No, I've been shorting since 1117. Average cost, okay, that's a good average cost now because I have added and taken profit aware it could bounce anytime soon. But really nice trade there. There are multiple dollars in the money. Now, some people are asking about some specific names. There it goes. Control, Alt, Escape. Thank you for that $5 super chat. I don't know what I want to hit there. Our $2 super chat. How are you feeling about RGTI, Joey? Yeah, I was mentioning it earlier, just the fact that it was moving in the aftermarket, starting to sell aggressively right now. But in all seriousness, I really want to get involved with this space, regardless if they're making money or not. I think it's the forward look on it. So you do get that big time print, but you also have to take into consideration that you're down 31%, and off of these lows, you're down 41%. So this move here is extremely, extremely aggressive. And with that being said, when you see something go parabolic like that, you're usually going to see that on the opposite end of that trade. And there it is, consecutive days to the downside, 1, 2, 3, 4, regardless of us gapping up or not. The intraday sessions have been red. I like RGTI. If I'm going to get involved with quantum, it's going to be via probably the ETF. If it was a QNTM or something like that. I'm not even going to try to remember what it was. But yeah, so that's what I like. Obviously, IONQ as well, not too bad. If you want to take a look from 84 to the lows, you're down 38%. But you have to take into consideration the volume profile as well and the average true range of that specific run. And I'm talking about the bulk of this move. So when things start to cool down, then I think we're going to have a pretty good opportunity to get involved. And IONQ is tanking right now.
Dropping aggressively.
Yeah, really aggressive. And so is IONQ. There goes IBIT. We get out break even right there, so not too bad. We got a lot of news. Talk to us, Adair. Across the board, the market's tanking. Adair, talk to us.
I have a couple pieces of news. I'll start with quantum. So Yahoo Finance saying that the U.S. is not in talks to take stakes in quantum firms. I actually mentioned this report a little bit earlier. Someone from Yahoo Finance posted this on X. But either way, Yahoo Finance reporting that the U.S. is not in talks to take stake in quantum firms. Now we also have more commentary coming from Vladimir Putin of Russia saying that strikes deep into Russia will be an escalation and that Russia's reply will be serious if that happens. Back to you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's never good, man. They just got to get that scenario figured out and just close it and just get it done with at the end of the day. I told Sharief the other day, I was watching some of these war documentaries, and it's actually chaos, and it's really, really scary stuff, man.
I hear that. All right, just continuing to watch. Same thing. I don't really have anything to update on. Continue to watch SCNX hold, but it failed the 150 area. It's trying to hold that previous area of support. I don't think I'm going to add here until I see a little bit more. AIRE, is still holding volume weighted average price. MSAI holding VWAP as well, and the $1 area looking to bounce back up, back into this one at 3, showing me 5s, looking for a print into 7, 8, 9. Just packing my patience on these ones. Looking for technical areas to hold up at, but it feels like maybe the best trade is a little bit behind them. If that is the case, you know, we'll get stopped out through the break of 30. So I'm packing my patience on SNCX. Let's go ahead and post in the mid to low 40s. Looking for a nice price spike up there, as it does have a bit of a higher low on this one. And let's just put a little bit more over here as well. So we'll see what we get there, but MSAI is losing the bid, so that I'm gonna have to drop that one out there. And that one will lose the dollar. So that one will be a loser. Continuing to watch here, SCNX, looking for this one to hold up at the 136 area. Watching AIRE as well. If this one looks like it's curling up, we'll pack into this one. Pardon me. There we go. Nope, that's not the one there. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Just make it a keystroke error. There we go. Looking in for AIRE to kind of curl off VWAP. I think we've got an interesting area here now that we've got a bunch of higher lows. Looking for continuation. What do we got? 87s. We'll post at 88s, and we'll post at 89s as well. Let's see if we can get a nice move up here. Joey, there we go. Now we're taking out a whole bunch of levels here on AIRE. So it looks like I caught this one on a price spike. Let's see if there's continuation, though, because, you know, they've been bamboozling today. So a nice price spike up on AIRE. Looking for that move into $1. 101 is the high. I'm going to post at 95s as well, as that's a previous area of resistance. Looking for that move above 90 decisively, though. That's been a hard level to clear. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a few more details here in this report with regards to quantum. So again, here, in case you guys missed it, Yahoo Finance reporting that the U.S. is not in talks to take stakes in quantum firms. Now, this also follows a post probably from like 30 minutes ago from a Yahoo Finance reporter suggesting the exact same fact. But now I'm also seeing here recirculated. Apparently Reuters also contacted a U.S. Commerce official. This was a while ago. And the Commerce official already told Reuters that the department was not negotiating with any of these companies. So looks like some of this might have already been known with regards to these quantum names. I just wanted to add that caveat here. Back to you.
All right, Joey, what do you got, brother?
Yeah, I'm just talking a big smile in there.
Oh, he's there?
Yeah,
What's up?
Man. Yeah. What's up? Big smile. So yeah, guys, we're all out of the IBIT trade. I'm just asking about his share position on what's the ticker in here on GRND. Yeah, so he's really in the money. He's been a long-time investor in that one. So let's see what we got going on with IBIT as we get stopped out. A nice move to the top side here. We won't complain, but you have that rejection of the previous high, comes back to our break even, and then we get all out of that and still holding until Tesla breaks trend. Then I'm just going to hold it. As soon as I get that trend line break, then we'll just take our last 1% out there, just because move up into here. I guess it has snapped, but we'll give it a little bit more room. A 5-minute open south of 430, then we'll just pop out. Let's pull up the options chain on this and see what we got cooking up there, if there's anything substantial. Surprisingly, when I was looking at it yesterday, there wasn't anything that was like captivated, grabbed me or anything along those lines. So let's see if that narrative has changed this morning. 440, 6,650. open interest calls at that 442.5. 445, nothing really. If we want to look at some size, that's going to be at 455, and then also at 432. Again, 440, a little open interest. So not too bad. I did see some size on the puts. So there it is at that 400 strike price, 24,600 at that level, and then 56,000 contracts currently traded. And there goes the uptrend on Tesla. That is no problem because, hey, we'll just hop out of it, and then we're going to look for another trade. We'll risk some more of our day. Nothing crazy, so our position sizing is going to be relatively small, but it's bonus. If it works, then hey, we'll just add that on to today's realized, and if it doesn't, then we stop at some point, captivating and holding the majority of our gains on the session.
All right, man. Great call out by Benton, SOC breaking out. Sable Offshore Corp. It's not technically a small capper, 1 1/3 billion market cap, but that could be because of the big move up. 1180 low of day. In fact, that is the closing print from yesterday. Trading right at the high net right now, 1336. Not up big, 13%, but it's a stair step up sort of look on SOC, so we could work into this one. It's just a little extended, the price action that is off the 5, which is the 10 EMA on the 5-minute chart, which is showing me 1290 at the moment. So I'm not really sure how to work into this one because it is a little bit extended, but it just keeps going up and up and up with very, very few pullbacks, if any. Just this 2-candle pullback here on the 5 at 11:15 and 11:20. That would have been the best time to get in. But yeah, hindsight is 2020. Well, let's pull up a SOC. I think I do have it up on the trading screen here. About a 4-penny spread, not too bad. Pulling back a bit here off that 1342 high. I'd be on the lookout for this one to hold prior bar low on the 5. If that is the case, I think, you know, we may be able to work with this one, even if it doesn't pull off into a technical area. So I'm going to keep my eye out on that. But I see BYND really working up here and looking to go possibly green on the day. So let's pull up BYND and talk a little bit about that because it has a nice pattern on the 5-minute chart. Trading at 345 with a 347 high right now. It's got a bit of a bull flag here on the 5 with a sort of holding the prior area high as support. I'm talking about that 330 area, and here we go. The tape picking up a little bit here on BYND. Let's see if this one wants to work up and take out 350. To go green on the day, it's going to have to take out 358, I believe. So we'll keep tabs on that, and we'll look to get in if it does go green on the day. I'm going to wait a little bit here for BYND. Shout out to Thomas Kondo, 199 super chat. YYAI squeeze, risking 10K on this play, or J's MLRA. Let's have a look at YYAI. What do we got? 5. All right. Are you going long? I'm not sure, because this looks like a bear flag to me, the big drop right there at 9 o'clock, and then sideways consolidation below VWAP. So that feels like it's a bear flag to me. And this is the headline. Shares are trading lower after the company announced a 1-for-50 reverse stock split. Just looking to see if there's any other news headlines on this one from today. Nothing today, though. That just seems to be the issue there. And yeah, it's obviously dilutive. The market doesn't like that. So I don't know, brother. Let's look at the daily on this one.
So long Jay's money line.
I don't know. I don't like this chart at all, Joey. It's like it's had these outsized days, but you know it's quick to retrace the entire move. It's now trading at around 10 pennies or so. I'm going to say, you know what, brother, look, it's a lottery ticket. If it ends up printed for you, I'll be the first to congratulate you. But quite frankly, if you're asking my opinion about the technicals, there's not a whole lot to like on the shorter term time frame or the long term time frame. Multi-reverse splits. You had one in July of 2024. You got another one today. So there's really not a whole lot for me to say that's positive about this, other than to say there seems to be a buyer here around 10 pennies. We're going to the desk.
Another update here on quantum. Now Rigetti's telling CNBC that they actually are in ongoing talks with the U.S. government with regards to quantum funding. Now, in case you guys missed it, the Wall Street Journal reported earlier that the U.S. government was in talks with some of these quantum companies, including Rigetti, for funding. Then Yahoo Finance reported that this actually was not the case, and these companies were not in talks with the government. Reuters also, in the middle of all these reports, actually talked to the Commerce Department, which said they were not in talks with these quantum companies. Rigetti's denying that, telling CNBC that, yes, we actually are in talks with the government. Back to you.
So we get another little pop. So if you ask me, who was it put that super chat in there, Thomas Kondo? Yeah, considering that we didn't really find anything that we liked on YYAI, may as well just go 10KJ's money line. That seems like the easier route and slightly more, I guess, if you want to bullish. I think, honestly, this is my theory, considering, so the Dodgers swept, obviously, the Milwaukee Brewers. Right, done. They're cool. They're cool a little bit right now. As fantastic of a team they may be, I think the Jays coming off a hot Game 7 is really important because the momentum is there and they've gone through that struggle. They were down for the majority of that game and then they come back. So I'm going Jays money line on that one. It's my friend's birthday on Friday as well too. I usually play hockey, so I said, hey man, you're lucky enough that I'm going to skip out on hockey and come hang out with you and watch the Jays game. So they better win. So that's essentially what's going down there, Sharief. Right. We just have a nice little barbecue. There goes the market climbing right high, back higher again, close to those highs. It's so. The easy trade, in my opinion, is not the short. Again, it gets really attractive and you say, oh, this is toppy. How much higher can we climb? How much higher can we climb? It just doesn't stop. There goes Apple and putting in a new high of the day. And I haven't even really been looking at the Mag 7 today. I was in hyper focus with Tesla, and that's all I really had on my watch list, and we executed on that. And I'll obviously dabble in a little Bitcoin because whenever it's ready to rock and roll, you'll get those consecutive sessions where it's just continuously climbing higher. You just have to be patient enough, wait for the right technical setup on the daily, and then you're going to have the ability to just ride the trend. Because when it goes on these runs, say we break that previous all-time high around 126, well, what is the next stop? 130 or something like that, 135, and those and you can get some monster moves from an intraday perspective, and that's what I'm consistently looking for. Still holding on to that last bit of Tesla. We did get stopped out on IBIT right here, but it's channel trading right now, Sharief.
All right, BYND is breaking out into 361. It is now green on the day, up 0.75%. Good breakout and a good move above 3.5. I was gauging resistance at 3.5. I was wrong. Now we'll have to see if it can break the yesterday's closing print, which is 358. It's above it right now, but dropping below as people either take profits or see that it is green on the day and look to get more short. Zigging and zagging right now off that 361 high, but a good recovery. No question about it, whether it moves back or not. We were down substantially on the day into that. I think in the pre-market, we dropped into the 50s, I believe. In fact, we actually breached the 50s in the aftermarket yesterday. It looks like we held the 60s today. So let's see how we set up here on BYND. Do we pull back in maybe to that 345, 340 breakout area? Or are we just getting a topping tail candle right now and that's going to be the end of the trade and we start selling off? So hard to gauge right now, especially since this is coming from negative territory. It's not a runner, that's up like 30, 40%. And we know that the buyers were in control. The sellers were in control the majority of the morning with the buyers taking over a little bit. But here we go, topping tail candle right now. And now we're down 2% again on BYND. Let's watch that 340-ish area. If it holds up there, I'll give it the old college try. We'll risk about 5 pennies, but it'll have to dip down into that area for me to stay interested. I won't want to punch in that close to the day's high. So BYND, as Tobe says, going green. It's down, though, 1.25% as it deals with the sellers in and around that closing print from yesterday, an area that we expect to have resistance at. So that's my look right now. I also want to bring your attention to SOC, the one that Benton called out. We got a topping tail candle into 350, but this current candle has a higher low. So I'm going to punch into this candle over here, and I'm going to base my out on prior bar low, Joey. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get out if it breaks that 330 level.
All right.
1330, excuse me.
Cool, cool. So at the end of the day, Havana Woody, it looks like I have to give you a little of my capital. I was talking a little bit earlier, but anyways, aside from that, however, I did turn 15K into 198K on AMT puts. Last time I tried to hit $19 pre-split, so sometimes it works. Yeah, so nice trade there. I'll take that 190K any day of the week. And yeah, it goes real quick here in Toronto, though. That's for sure. You don't get much. Not much bang for your buck around this neck of the woods anymore, Sharief.
No,
but
man.
That's just how it goes. Tesla's still holding up. We got Apple at the high of the day. Let's pull up our old chart here and see what we're looking at. We got Rigetti and some of the quantum names. Here's over NVDA, IBIT still channel trading. Tesla looking pretty good, as if it wants to go and attempt this previous break. Once that cracks, we take our last little bit out. And this is just chop. This is a lot of choppy. And I've seen multiple individuals in the chat say, hey, I can't really navigate the SPY right now. And yeah, I totally agree with you. What you got to do is just compress that bar and that price and give yourself significantly wider of a stop and try to buy the lower end of the range, sell the top end, or vice versa. Again, so we're getting another indecision. I think these are liquidity grabs. There's no specific reason for the market to continue to be climbing higher, but if you're trying to justify it, that's when you're going to find yourself in a world of trouble. Regardless of what you think, and I know I find myself falling into that realm as well, just like, hey, why we don't deserve to go up. Why are we going up? Why are we continuously doing that? But at the end of the day, you know nothing, Jon Snow, and you don't deserve whatever it is written. So yeah, be patient. We're not too far off of those all-time highs, so we'll have to be patient and see what's going on. Tesla, same thing, guys. I'm going to be sitting on my hands. It's been a really good morning, so we're going to wait for that A+ setup and then maybe just get a little ad. There goes Tesla, new high of the day, Sharief. So there it goes, 435, and I only have 1%, so I already took out the bulk of that position.
That's what I want to hear, man.
But we can't complain.
All right.
All right, guys.
Shout out to Joe. Kill it on that. I'm watching SOC make another new high to 1354. Looking for continuation through the half-dollar, layering the prints, showing me 55s at the moment. Sorry, 54s, excuse me. There we go, 55. We get the print there. Now the high of the day is 55. Looking for more, though. Stair step up. Let's see where this one ends up going. We're trading literally at the high, up 14.5%. Packing my patience. Of course, watching BYND's price develop. Topping tail candle through the closing print yesterday. Went green momentarily. Down we go again. We still have a higher low on this 12 o'clock 5-minute candle relative to the 11:55 5-minute candle, which has a low of 346. So if you're entering here, I'd be looking for prior bar low. Just personally, that's where I'd be looking to get out. But the price action here starting to develop aggressively, and the volume picking up at this level on BYND. It had over 1 billion shares traded yesterday, and maybe we do that again today because we're almost at 500 million, 418 million. Here we go again. This has a higher low right now on BYND. Is this continuation possibly to go green decisively? We're back into Greensville, not by a lot, Joey, 0.25%, but the buyers are buying this up, right? And they have been doing that basically since the low of the day. It's been a series of higher lows. It's just, when do the good times end for BYND? Because we saw them end quite abruptly yesterday. If you get in here, current bar low, I just want to let you know, is 349, so you could risk 11 pennies.
You know when they end?
Yeah, when they end.
Now.
When you take profits?
Now, because it's happening now.
Oh, where's Neil?
Neil's less than of the day. I don't know.
I know he's not here.
Spiel, but we got happening now.
All right. I don't know why I'm not here.
Yeah, here's the Nasdaq just consolidating higher right now. Pretty choppy on this 15-minute chart, but it's certainly an improvement from those periods last week where we were selling off sharply during that period from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Seeing some comments coming up right now here from Microsoft. Apparently with connectors, Copilot can link services like OneDrive, Outlook, Gmail, Google Drive, and Google Calendar. So Microsoft announcing an update here. This is part of its Copilot fall release. Now let's talk about the very chaotic news cycle, to put it mildly, for quantum, specifically over the last, we'll say, half an hour. We know Wall Street Journal reported here last night that the U.S. was reportedly in talks with some of these quantum companies, including Rigetti, D-Wave Quantum, and IONQ, with regards to some investments. Then we have a commentary coming out here from Yahoo Finance saying that's actually not the case. The U.S. government is not talking to these quantum names. But then CNBC immediately after said Rigetti contacted them and claimed they are, in fact, talking to the government. So lots of back and forth here on the quantum space. Tesla, though, certainly not back and forth. Sharply to the upside here for TSLA on earnings day one. Really strong revenue, lots of growth in the business, and lots of milestones they're trying to meet going forward, but they did have a slight EPS miss there. Last but not least, INTC, they're going to be reporting after the bell here. Here's a look at what to expect. If you want more details on this, you can check this out on X at TTV Research. I also have an earnings preview for Ford, which is reporting tonight at 4:05 p.m. They're also going to be there on X at TTV Research. Now, before we send you back to the Bash Brothers, I want to take a moment to thank our friends at Silo. At the intersection of science and crypto innovation, Silo Pharma, trading on the Nasdaq as SILO, is rewriting the playbook. Their lead drug, SPC15, is advancing towards FDA submission, a potential first-in-class intranasal treatment for PTSD and anxiety, with data already showing strong safety results. At the same time, Silo is expanding its digital assets model, investing in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, while securing cutting-edge technology designed to strengthen and future-proof its crypto strategy. From lab to ledger, Silo Pharma is where breakthrough science meets blockchain innovation. Learn more at silopharma.com. Back to you.
All right, Neil, are you doing your lesson of the day or no? Okay, no worries. All right, we'll cover for a second over here, keeping my eye on BYND. Here we go, we're going green, 367. We got 65s on, looking for continuation here on BYND as it goes green up to the tune of almost 2%. Selling, though, in this area, so we'll pack our patience on that. Separately, back into MSAI, looking for continuation on this bad boy as it reclaims the volume weighted average price, puts in a plethora of higher highs and higher lows. Let's see if we can post at some of these levels over here. It's been giving me trouble to post, so let's go ahead and just do that at the moment. We'll see if we can get that continuation on MSAI. Also keeping my eye firmly packed there on SOC as this one comes off that 313.58 high, puts in a candle of indecision now, and it feels like maybe this one might be on a bit of a downward move. In fact, the prior candle did breach prior bar low, but let's not take out too much too quickly over here, as this one does have a good trend under its wings. And if it's going to run above that $0.50 and stay above the $0.50, I want to get involved. I want to stay involved, I should say. So that's what I'm looking at there. MSAI, BYND, SOC, and AIRE. AIRE I've said very little about because it's trending higher highs and higher lows. I don't really need to worry about this one too much. It doesn't seem like it has too much in the way of bamboozlement, but I've layered the orders to take advantage of any possible price spikes. Keeping an eye here on BYND as this one comes back down again. Let's see if it holds prior bar low. Prior bar low, by the way, guys, is down into 349. So you will have to give this one some room. Catching a bit of a bid now into the mid 60s, looking for continuation into the high 60s and then mid 70s. That's where I'm posting there, Joey. There goes SOC. Happy I didn't take that one out into another high of the day, 64s. We've got 46s on with this one. Let's go ahead and take some profits here, and then we'll layer, of course, as you know, into 69, and we'll post there. So keeping my eye on that. And then BYND right back into the high of the day, into 67s we go. But there's that seller, that staunchy little bugger at 67 that we saw last time around, still standing in our way from ascending above that price. So we'll have to pack our patience and see if the market movers can move this guy because he is still in the way here, Joey, unable to shake him.
All right, good stuff there, guys. No, I'm not going to do it. We'll just go with the bang. It has to be a rarity, right? So you don't even know what I was about to do there, guys. So anyways, there it is, Tesla. We may as well just take it out here. We don't want to get overly greedy as it's continuing to climb higher. Apple putting in a new high of the day. But essentially what I was going to go over here is to say, hey, I got on the side chart. I'll hold it a bit. So let's just go over some potential swing trades, guys. I mean, obviously we talk intraday trading, but I think there's opportunities to be had in swing trading as well, a little bit longer of a time frame, wider stops. So what I essentially do is I have my watch list over here and alerts. There's nothing substantial that I got going on here right now. I executed on that Tesla trade, but let's just go through what I specifically look for. This is my list of stocks, my basket here. And I think what I found is that once I kind of get lower in this list, my probability starts to fall off a little bit. I like sticking with the big names, the heavier market capitalization names, and that's when we look for trades. We were talking about the coin one not too long ago. You get that breakout from the consolidation all the way from the lows of 304 to 400. That was nice, but why was I specifically looking at it? Because you have a defined risk profile, and when we were, you can see a lot of indecision prints here, and that's going to be putting in a low of a day around the low of the daily chart around 290, and you get that move all the way up to 403. So that's a big time move, and we like that a lot. But there's nothing quite yet in what we're specifically looking for. If Bitcoin goes on an additional rally and decides to go for that previous all-time high move, then I think there might be a trade to be had. But aside from that, let's start from the top up. We're going to avoid the SPY, the Qs, and everything along those lines. Take a look at Apple's daily as it put in a new all-time high, 265 not too long ago. And then the same thing with Microsoft. We talked about this a while ago, is just look at the consistent trend up here, and we know that that's not sustainable. Was this pullback as deep as some of us were expecting? Absolutely not. So that just tells me that we have a strong underlying asset, and the stock is really, really strong and willing to hold up, and there's value there. So anyways, aside from that, we're on to NVDA, choppy. It tends to do this once in a blue moon, and you can see that in this neck of the woods, the November to that April. Really choppy stuff, wanting to grind higher, but yet you get those massive selling days. And I think that's what we're sitting at around here, is just some nice sideways price action. If you can get in at the lower end of the range, which I do believe there's going to be opportunities to do so, around 170, even 165. You just have to be patient. And I'm not talking in the near future. It may take significantly longer than what we ever thought, and it may not even happen, but a couple months from now, 165, 170, anything can go on. So as for AVGO, not something that I would particularly trade, but how can you deny this move off of the April lows? April 4th, all the way up to up there, 157%. So drastically outpacing the market there, and we like that one. Salesforce. So this is a different style of setup for me. This is a trend break, and then sure enough, once you get that open above that, you're in at 254, and you get that move to 268. Obviously, hindsight 2020, and everything looks good, but now you're starting to come back in. But where did we see these patterns before? Let's go back to NVDA and just display what we were looking at and why I decided to buy some at the crack of those lows, and it's the exact same thing with Robinhood. Consistent downtrend. The downtrend is broken in a strong name, in a strong class, in a strong sector. You get that move all the way from 107 to 190, or wait, what was I high there? 195. Super chat. I don't see anything. All right. Blue Pirates lost 30K in 10 months. Don't want to quit. Need to learn price action, support and resistance, key indicators, and ideal stop loss per contracts. Where to start? I don't know if you can go back into our archives with the lessons of the day. Did we do any of stop losses and risk management on that?
God, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, big time.
So there you go. You can go back. You can test that up. Obviously, reading. If you're earlier in your journey, I think it's important to just try to fill your brain up with as much knowledge as possible. It's different from going from reading a book to actually doing it in live practice, but I think risk management is a key factor.
No question about it.
Yeah, no question about it, guys. And the beautiful thing about YouTube is you can go back to the midday show, and you know, when Joseph and I were doing the lessons, we do them at the beginning of the show, so it's super easy to find. If you go back even further to the fall of last year, or even the summer of last year, when Adair and I were doing the midday show, we did that once an hour, so you basically it repeated 3 times, so you could easily find it there. Just go back onto the YouTube homepage for Trader TV, go to the midday show tab and check it out there. Separately, I can recommend a couple of books. Obviously, John J. Murphy's Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets is the one that I really started out with. And then, you know, you can also get the CMA materials, or CMT, excuse me, materials. A lot of the older ones are available online for free, so you don't need to pony up any of the cash for that. They're legally free because they're older, right? Yeah. They're not even... They're not even, you know, that kind. Yeah, so there's so many different resources. And then chat, of course, right?
Yeah.
Give and take with chat. So if you have a scenario that you need an explanation for, what to do, what are my options in this case, in that case, throw it into chat. You have no idea what this thing's been pre-trained on, legally or not legally, right? Copyright or not copyright, it's trained on this information.
Yeah.
So it can give you a lot of good data.
And so, like, honestly, from what I'm reading from that super chat, Sharief, seems relatively new. So again, I think it comes to the point you want to learn about indicators and all those things, but as you get deeper in the journey, I think I hear this from a lot of the experienced traders. You just eliminate all of that stuff. Obviously, you can build systems on it, but what I've gained in I started with Camarilla pivot points, and I was trying this, doing that, and doing all of this. At the end of the day, all I need is the volume weighted average price and price action. That's it, right? Yeah. Like, you have your 3 moving averages up there, VWAP, 2 of them, that's all. Your chart's not littered with indicators. I don't think indicators are the answer to your risk management. It's your due diligence that you do when the market is closed.
No, but you're a lot more nuanced than that. I saw you 6 bars, 3 bars. So chart patterns are very important in your trading too.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I only use
price action. My bad.
That's what I use is price action. As for indicators on my 5-minute time frame, my 1 minute, all I have is the volume weighted average price. I could care less about anything else. There's things that work really, really well, but that's the thing about indicators. They aren't as consistent as what you can be. They can tell you a lot of things, and I'm sure a lot of the veteran traders in the chat put it in. Do you use a lot of indicators or not? Me, I'm going to put my answer in. It's no. I use one. Boom, boom. So put your number in, and Sharief uses 3. I told you guys what he has on his chart. Katina Man and Neil, those guys their charts aren't littered with indicators. They have the couple moving averages and the volume weighted average price, and that's what they need. So your answer to your risk management isn't through the indicators, it's through your due diligence and what you do after the market close on the weekend and how much knowledge you fill your brain with, and just learn about risk management. Stop loss is probably the most important thing because we've been there. I told you guys on multiple stories when I think I was in year 2 of trading. I'm like, hey, I'm starting to rock and roll, and then guess what?
What?
I just give it all away by not following my rules and not being a proper risk management. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody goes through those phases, and it's a learning experience. Again, you can go in school and you learn all these things, read all these books, but until you put it into actual practice, it means nothing.
Yes, sir. How many indicators do you use?
One. Bang. That's a good pull.
There it
That's
is.
a great pull there.
I really like it.
Bang.
Any news on the auto parts industry? Big names took a hit all at once. ORLY, GPC, AZO. Not an industry that I follow, not an industry that we follow here all that closely. Let me take a look at some of the names that you have. ORLY.
ORLY reported earnings last night. That's what I was going to say. I don't have anything else, though. I'll take a look further.
Okay, thank you. GPC looking, Genuine Auto Parts got an upgrade today from Morgan Stanley. Nice move from 145 to 150, price target upgrade, I should say. Let me have a look over here at AZO. Not seeing anything on that either. So just ORLY, as Adair mentioned, reported earnings. I don't really have much in terms of them. Let me just have a look over here. Yeah, Morgan Stanley maintains overweight on ORLY and then boosting the price target to 115 from 105. So you have some headlines on there. I hope that helps out. Okay, so what I'm focusing on right now is BYND as it zigs and zags with that 70 penny area. It's a 373 area high. We have 66s on right now. Looking for that continuation. Very, very thickly traded. Very heavy in the sell. The buyers are holding it up, obviously, clearly. Otherwise, we wouldn't be putting in higher lows. But the sellers, I don't want to say are equally as strong for the moment, but they are definitely strong there. Especially now this has gone green. You're going to get a lot of shorts that are going to take notice of that, and they're going to be looking to take this down. So keep your eye here on BYND. I'm focusing on it as well. SOC's been good to me today. We've been stepping up on this one. Shout out to Benton. We're going to keep my eye on that. And then last but not least, AIRE. Really waiting for this one to break through that 90 penny area. It's been putting in higher lows, using the 10 EMA as support, but we're not getting the breakout quite yet. Trying to pack my patience on AIRE. Here it comes, breaking out as we speak. So let's wet the beak over here on some profits. Just keeping an eye on this, assuming shares, we're good to go on that. Looking for a price spike up into 92, that's my next level there. Yeah, BYND coming right back down into the mid 60s. What's the move here? Do we hold prior bar low? Prior bar low is 58. We're at 61. We're about to break prior bar low. Keeping my eye on that, and there we go. We just broke it, and now we're back to negative on the day again. For BYND. 350 is where the 10 EMA on the 5 is. Looking for support around that level, Joe.
All right, good stuff there. Hold on, give me 1 second there. Assassino. All right, okay, all right, cool. Thank you very much for that. And there goes Tesla continuing to climb higher. Shout out to our guy, Adam James, HPN. We know government lies, but why would RGT lie about a contract with the government? Someone is going to be left red-faced and investors/traders holding bags. At Adara, that one's for you, Adara. So hopefully there is no little white lies going on. But guys, listen up. And now for some exciting news out of Canada for sophisticated traders on the stream. Beta Pro by Global X Canada, Canada's largest provider of leverage, inverse, and inverse leverage ETFs, has just launched 6 new triple leverage ETFs offering 3x bull and 3x bear exposure to the S&P TSX 60, semiconductors, and other U.S. Treasuries. Even better, they're offering a special fee rebate, dropping management fees to just 65 basis points until December 31st, 2025. Plus, the U.S.-focused strategies use currency hedging, offering the potential for pure performance and exposure. If you're a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, check out betapro.ca/3xdaily to learn more there, guys. Katina, man, we've been rocking and rolling in Tesla all day, my friend. Yeah, we're still long this bad boy off of those lows. So shout out to TSLA in the blue ocean, Sharief.
All right, man. Continuing to watch here. SOC still stair-stepping up, guys. Now trading at 73s into the high of the day. Keeping an eye on that one. What else we got? I'm just looking at the blotter over here to see if there's any new ones making a move midday. Not really. I see one that just popped up, INEO, but it's dropping right back down, so no point looking at that one. Looking at another one, SEV, that's not doing anything either. Too light on volume for me. Just keeping an eye on some of these over here, packing the patience on these bad boys. Back into BYND, though, as it held up the 10 EMA on the 5, looking for this one to hold at the $0.50. We're going to risk a little bit on this one to see if it can hold up that trend and head back into Positiveville, layering the orders. There seem to be a seller, though, at 58s. I should probably layer my orders as well on SOC, as this one is trading still near the high of the day. I want to put some at 81s. There we go. Nice price spike up into 75s now. Let's put some more at 86s. Nice move here by BYND. Price spiking up back into Greensville, so it holds up at the 10, and then price spikes up. Can we get back into the 73 area, though? So we got 57s, much better over price this time than last. Looking for continuation on this one. 64 is now showing up. Good prints there. Let's see if we can get up a little bit more. 65 now. We take more prints there. I doubled my size on this one than what I had previously. I like that 10 EMA a little bit better. 66 is now showing up, taking out some sellers here. Let's look for continuation, though, on BYND. Looking for the move past 70. Nope. A bit of an aggressive sell coming into the mid-60s, so we'll have to keep tabs on that. I'm seeing MSAI as well work right back into the volume weighted average price. This one looks like it held the 10 very clean and is continuing back into above the dollar. This one has a 119 high. So be on the lookout here for MSAI to price spike through VWAP and get back into that $1.25, $1.25 area, Joey. That's what I'm keeping my eye on now.
All right, good stuff there, guys. Sharief, as always, do. Now let's get back to our scan and just potential swing trades. I was just working on other things last night, doing a little bit of reading, and I was just transferring data over from TradingView onto a spreadsheet so I can calculate it. And I was talking to Sharief about it this morning. I'm like, dude, I was looking for a sector that didn't perform very well for the algo, and that led me to the airlines. So when I plugged these in, very little of them were green, and a lot of it has to do with this choppiness, which is surprising. And the algo didn't perform well in downtrends, is what I'm starting to recognize. So that's good. There's some flaws in that, but I think we can get those bugs out and just get it as clean as we possibly can. It's not going to be perfect because it is automated, but I'm just going through some of these names. Bang, there's the UAL, a nice hammer candle on the daily, and a big time move to the top side. These are the type of signals that we're looking for, guys. Aggressive selling in. This is the continuation of trend that we're looking for on specific swing trades. Here's Amazon that we were referring to earlier when we sold all of that a couple of days ago or yesterday, whatever it may have been. I believe it was 2 days ago. Where are you, Amazon? Where are you? Where are you now that I need ya? Amazon. There it is. Same thing, guys. Just looking for identical signals. You get that little pop. Some selling yesterday, but we were out over there. So that's one of them there. Tesla. Anything. If it broke below 400, I think there would have been a good opportunity for a swing on that as well. You just want to wait for those indecisions. You get that gap down, you get that indecision print, and then you look for that continuation within the trend. But let's go back up here. Ethereum How are you doing today? How you doing around there? How you doing?
You like that show?
Yeah, what show is that? I don't even know. Friends.
Nah, yeah, Joey, you had me tripping
no,
there for a bit, bro.
Assassino bailed me out.
Did he?
Yeah.
Assassino, bro.
Assassino
Come on,
bailed me
we
out.
had an opportunity here.
Listen.
You're dunking on me all the time because I don't watch movies.
But you like
Assassino
Friends. You're a big Friends guy?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I know about it, but I don't like the show at all.
Now that I think about it, it's Joey. Yeah, come on, Joey.
Yeah, that's why I thought you were doing that, right?
How you doing?
Oh, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's an AC Slater all over again, isn't it?
Yeah,
all
big
over
time,
again.
man.
Sometimes I give you a little bit of a rube because of your age, but like still, Joey, you're using
there
that.
has to be a limit, I guess.
All right, and now, my bad. Trade the pool. For too long, trading meant risking your own money or never having enough to start to begin with. The fear of losing, that's what kept so many traders on the sidelines. But that's all changing, guys. Trade the pool. Yes, they're transforming how traders access the markets with its limited risk trading model. Traders actually use funded capital, while trade the pool, they absorb all the downside. This allows traders to focus on what truly matters: the discipline, the consistency, and of course that growth. When you hit the profit target, you keep up to 70% of the profits. No fears, no barriers, just real opportunities. This is the revolution, Joey, of limited risk trading. It's powered by Trade the Pool. So if you're into that sort of thing, visit tradethepool.com or scan that QR code now to get 10% off your evaluation account. Shout out to the great folks at Trade the Pool.
Kevin Thakar, make sure you hit live, brother. That was a couple seconds ago. You're late. You got to make sure you're up to date with the stream because you're coming in a little late there. If you fear losing money, please don't trade, says Luis Martinez. Absolutely, man. It's true. And I like what we say around here. Fortune favors the bold, and sometimes you just got to take those swings. If you don't get uncomfortable, then you're going to be in a whole world of trouble. So get comfortable with being uncomfortable and feeling those butterflies in your stomach when you're putting on size and you're putting on those swing trades. And it's like, am I going to be right or am I going to be wrong? We'll get used to both of them. All right. So BMNR, Sharief, what's this garbage doing over
there?
Man?
Bro, I added into that. So I initially got into BMNR at 54.
Yeah.
Okay. I got into a very, very small position because this is how I do things, and I work my way in. Yeah. And I'm starting to notice that we're breaking a little bit of trend. I don't like that lower low. Look at that one right there. No, not that one. So look at that.
You're looking at this. Yeah. But what I was getting at here is that higher low trend break, right? And then boom, that moved to the downside of north of 48. So cracking a little bit lower. And when I expand the price, it didn't look as attractive as when we compressed that axis. So yeah, there it is on BMNR.
Yeah,
maybe.
Like, I don't know what my next move on that is going to be. Yeah. So like I was basing my analysis on the ascending wedge. Yeah. What concerned me always about this was the ascending wedge was preceded by a downtrend. That's not where you want to see the ascending wedge because it's a continuation pattern,
it could be
not a reversal pattern. So that did concern me to begin with, but I still like some of the levels that we've got. I think I'm going to draw my line in the sand at that low.
No. This low right here, 39.
One more. Yeah,
31s.
Right there.
This one here.
That's going to be my out. That's going to be my add area. I'm probably going to add in the mid 40s.
Okay.
So I got in 54. I don't mind adding in the mid 40s, and then I'll add it into the mid 30s. And if it loses mid 30s, it's all over.
It's all over about the crying at that point. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, but that's the thing though. If Ethereum gets rocking and rolling, then you're good. Then you're good.
I realize the correlation, right? Yeah. But the whole point of this one was, again, the future use of Ethereum for different things, right? Like I'm not looking to, if I want to punch into ETH, I'll punch into ETH, right? That wasn't really my move. I was looking for leverage.
You grabbed some ETH.
Yeah, exactly. But that's in the long term. This is the swing, right? So ETH I don't even think about, right? Because that's in the long term and you don't even bother with that. Anyway, Adira.
Yeah, I want to let you guys know here, I have another update on what we'll call the quantum saga. So as we know, Wall Street Journal reporting that the U.S. was considering investing in these quantum names and that they were in talks. Then that report was later denied by Yahoo Finance. But Rigetti apparently contacted CNBC and said they are in talks with the government. Well, now CNBC actually reporting once again now that the U.S. is not currently negotiating stakes. Now, it's unclear if that's with all of the companies or with any specific companies in particular, but either way, CNBC reporting once again here, following that Yahoo Finance report, that the U.S. is not currently negotiating stakes with the quantum names. So that doesn't mean they never will, but sounds like they're not currently in negotiation. It's also worth noting, as I mentioned earlier, that the Commerce Department already told Reuters when asked for comment that they're not talking to any of these quantum names. Back to you.
Cool, good stuff there. Yeah, 2NY, thanks for sharing that with us. Finally, something worked. I follow all my rules, and today it finally worked. If it doesn't work today, and doesn't mean that it won't work tomorrow. Exactly, for the guy that lost so much, just be patient. Yeah, I love those words, man. And that's what we were talking about a little bit yesterday as well. It's just, it's so hard. If you could just stop at some point and just keep those losses as low as you can. The thing is, so for an example, someone here is like, yeah, I had a fantastic day. They absolutely crushed it. And then the next day it's like, oh, I lost a little bit too much. And then we were just doing some brainstorming last night after the close, and we're like, yeah, it's so obvious, but it's significantly harder when you're actually putting it to work. It's just cool off a little bit, because you don't want to ruin certain things. I've done it countless times, and it's going to happen to me more in the future as well too, is that you have a garbage day and you let it be too super garbage, like you just lose too much, and then the next day you have a fantastic session and you're like, oh, I wish I didn't lose so much yesterday. Imagine if I lost half of it. Your equity curve will be steady sloping higher. That's just the narrative of the beast. And yeah, there's a couple more things that I want to talk about later on. But Tesla right now continuing to climb 436 and change. At what point do we take this last out here? I mean, we've been in this name since 9:35 or 9:38 this morning, 9:39, and now it's just 12:30, and I'm just holding 1%. So I can just take it off, but putting something on for you guys to let this trade run a little bit there, Sharief. So,
all right, good.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for something, man.
Sounds good, man. No point in giving back profits if you locked in that money. Hold on to it, man, especially if there's no setups that you're liking right now, Joe. Good call. SOC, guys, new high day on this one, 1383 high. Looking like it's topping out a little bit here. It still hasn't made any new lows relative to the prior candle, but I'm seeing, you know, the formation or what seems to be the formation possibly of a rounded top. And there we go. We get the actual breakdown now. Now we've gotten the first 5-minute candle will make a new low. Let's see if this one continues down. I've got, what do I got? 45s on this. It's showing me 69, so I can pack my patience on this one. I don't have to get in, get out that quickly. And I also want to mention that the 10 EMA on the 5 is at 13.5, and I do happen to like that for a number of reasons. Psychological support at the $0.50 as well as the technical support at the $0.50 as well. So if it does make its way down there, I might be a buyer in and around there. I don't have that many outs left on SOC, so I don't mind picking up a little bit more there. MSAI as well. Oh, wow, BYND, I can't believe this thing cut me up that bad, and it's headed right back up. I'm not going to trade this. I don't think I have a read on it. Let's go to Adair.
Yeah, keep an eye here in BACQ. BACQ actually halted. Now, what happened here is Citron Research released a long report, or I guess the opposite of short report, speaking favorably about Merlin. Now, Merlin is the company that is going to merge here with this acquisition company. So BACQ to merge with Merlin Labs. Citron Research likes Merlin Labs, actually favorably comparing it to Joby. So saying Merlin Labs is cheaper and apparently in a better position here than Joby. Looks like BACQ just opened back up. Back to you guys.
Good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, let's go through a couple more name, guys. And like, I mean, we have our whole list of stocks here. We have the 5-minute and the daily. Let's actually get this down to a 5-minute, just in case we see anything at the volume weighted average price that we like. What's our friend Robinhood up to? 133. Putting in, okay, all right, we like this here. A nice little signal on Robinhood. This is crazy. At some point, I think the stock's going to have an aggressive pullback. If you go from the peak here, 154 to that low, that's 20% there. So off of these lows here, April 7th lows to those highs, 410% is absolutely insane. It's the same narrative in what we were talking about with NVDA. You get this downtrend cracking, bang. Shout out to Vlad Tenev and company.
Vlad.
Yeah, man. This guy is just absolutely just raking up some cash with Robinhood.
Notice his aura has changed a little bit since he's
you got the haircut.
Not just that, Joey. His disposition, his character has changed now that he's flossing.
He's glowed. He got the Mark Zuck glow up.
He's got the glow up, exactly.
Mark Zuck
I remember this guy during COVID, like on Zoom with CNBC, you know, defending himself with the whole debacle with
now
GME.
He doesn't have to.
Now, bro, he's got, you know, the little silk jacket there. He's looking good.
He's looking
Shout
good.
out to Vladdy T. Look, man, I was crapping on him. When I went down to my brother-in-law's back during COVID in 21, when everybody was trading, right? So he's like, yeah, I got a Robinhood account. I'm punching in. I'm like, you're a goof, bro. Who has Robinhood, right? You got to get IB. I was the goof, bro, because look how good they're doing now.
IB, he's using Robinhood.
He's using Robinhood. He's punching in on his phone. He's feeling good about himself. Here I am crapping all over him.
But hey,
right? That was the move back in the day. Everybody was making fun of people on Robinhood, right? So,
but that's the thing, right? It was like, haha, you're trading on your phone. You don't know what you're doing. You're just a phone trader. But who's laughing now?
Who's laughing now?
Who's laughing now? It's Vlad and the shareholders of Robinhood. I don't know anybody holding this name. But in all seriousness, yeah, I mean, there goes Tesla continuing to climb a little bit higher there. I'm sure. With Jamlock.
All right, yeah, I guess he's on Robinhood, so he's feeling good about himself.
He's a shareholder as well, too, man. You know what? Again, I like Katina Man mentioned this a while ago.
Okay.
He's like, if you use something on a day-to-day basis and it's a publicly traded company, you may as well own it. So it's like Apple, you're using your phone, you're using the internet every day.
Well, there's a sound reason to say that because you're acutely aware of the intricacies, the good, the bad, right? Like if someone told you to audit the iPhone as a product, and you're using it every day, you're gonna know what it does well for you and what it doesn't do that well, right? So I mean, it just stands to reason. That's sound advice by the Katina Man, of course. I happen to like that as well. Man. Yo, Katina Man, he's asking for the light bulb there. Oh, there he is. I like how his face lights up once the light bulb turns on. Good times. There goes SOC, guys. That was a short-lived pullback. So that one bamboozled probably people as that made the first 5-minute candle make a new low. But then there's the first 5-minute candle make a new high. This one is on the move. Shout out to Benton C, a fellow gunner or gooner, right? We call ourselves lovingly gooners. We whooped. Did I tell you about the ass whooping that Atletico caught?
You guys call yourself gooners?
Well, yeah, people call us gooners, and we just kind of sort of went with it. Yeah, because gunners, right? Gunners are like Arsenal fans, and then gunners and gooners are kind of close, right?
I know nothing about.
So Atletico Madrid is a very, very good La Liga team. They're usually like top 3. Okay. I don't know if they're top 3 this year, but mostly they're perennially top 3. They came the other day, Joe. Okay. And this is a team that doesn't give up too many goals. They caught 4. 4. We shook the back of the net 4 times, and we shut them out. I got another stat for you. How many goals, Joey, has Arsenal given up in the Champions League?
Oh, you told me.
How many goals has Arsenal given in the Premier League?
3
out of 8 games. So I'm feeling good about myself this year. I certainly can't cheer for Dallas because, well, they're not doing a whole lot. Neil's laughing. But
how the Bills doing though, Neil?
They could be better, says Neil.
They can always be a little bit better. There's 4-2. That's not bad, man.
Yo, crash. Yeah, your boy netted 2 the other
I love that.
day.
I love that, man. Remember I told you, I'm like, who is this guy? Like, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know who you're talking about.
Of course I know who Yo Koresh is, man. That's crazy. Shout out, hey, look at all the Gunner fans coming in, man. Shout out to Sharp Trim Mobile Barber. He knows what's good. Shout out to you guys, man. All right, Joey, MSAI curling back up. We got a couple of prints there. I had a DCA to defend the 10 EMA on the 5. It didn't trigger, so we're going to continue to trade what we've got on now. Local area high there spiked up into 9s. I did get the print, excuse me, at 8s. I didn't have anything at 9s. So what I'm looking for is trend continuation here on MSAI. It's up 56%. It's off the high, 119, but you know, I like the chart pattern that this one's putting. It looks like the buyers, at least for the moment, are in control vis-a-vis the higher lows. So that's what I'm looking at now. That's my look there.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. That's crazy.
What happened? What do people say?
No. So lock in some parlays, Joe. You know what? I'm gonna take Tom.
Parlays on what?
I have no idea. I don't really set up, man. If I have, see, that's the thing. I'm more well versed in the fight game, so I think I'm going to take Tom Aspinall to knock out Cyril Gane this weekend. Heavyweight UFC title fight going on. Big time fight. Some big.
Bro, every week there's UFC. Jeez,
bro,
Louise,
I'm telling you, it's just taking the world by storm. I love UFC so much. So yeah, I got Tom Aspinall. I think to finish Cyril Gane before the third round. Remember that. Remember that. Somebody's going to get knocked out. If Cyril Gane doesn't play bouncy, he's really, like, he's big and he's like a kickboxer style, right? And he's bouncy, really bouncy. Difficult for individuals, but John Jones finished him in like 60 seconds. Just put him in a guillotine, now it's his foam. The guy who was supposed to be the next big thing.
Seriously?
Yeah, 60 seconds, boom. And he didn't even fight for a couple years,
Stand-up guys that are exclusively stand-up, or their background is mostly like in Muay Thai or kickboxing, do they have trouble when they go against wrestlers? They do, because it goes to the ground and they're in trouble, right?
Like, if in the UFC, you need two things. You need wrestling and striking, essentially. If you're a good wrestler, good solid wrestling background, then you can defend takedowns, you can grapple a little bit, and then the striking, you can obviously piece them up. But the stand-up guys, like the kickboxers, they struggle a lot because it's easier for the wrestlers to take them down, and then there's just boom, feeding them out.
What's better, jiu-jitsu or wrestling for that ground game?
Jiu-jitsu's great because you get the submissions, but I think wrestling will take over just because of the dominance and just the ground control. Jiu-jitsu, you can get caught in anything at any given moment. But I mean, you got to think about the Nurmagomedov teams. Like, those guys aren't any form of, like, they know they're jits, but they're wrestlers.
But they're wrestling background? I got you. So, you and I were talking about this yesterday as well. Connor Ben. Your boy, what's his name? Eubanks Jr. That's going to be interesting. That's a few weeks away. I'm packing my patience here. Yeah, I actually saw Ben. He's shorter. He's a big guy, but he's shorter. So Eubanks is significantly taller than him.
That's what I was saying.
I saw what you meant.
The first fight was amazing. It was really good. It was a dog fight. I like Connor Ben. I want him to win, but I just think Eubank is just too big for him. He's just a bigger man. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
And he doesn't have the power that can really hurt Chris Eubank. The only thing John Jones is ducking is the police. Why not? You know that. That guy ain't scared of anybody. It's true. It's true, man. This guy,
Joey.
Listen, you put John Jones in a room full of any individuals or in an elevator and say only one man can come out, John Jones is coming out every single time. He's like the modern day Achilles. It's that simple.
That's crazy.
I don't think anybody on the planet can beat him. Okay, guys, there goes Tesla, continuing to climb.
Where's it going?
We're at 439. Sharief, I'm in $2 on TSLA, the 2x leverage, all the way from the low.
That's big.
Still diamond hands Deontay Wilder in this trade. So a nice move there.
All right, guys, still holding on here to MSAI, looking for the hold of the 10 EMA, so we did get the fill on the move back into that 10 EMA. Zigging and zagging right now. This is the level that I wanted, so if it loses this level, I end the trade. Looking for continuation into the 110, 115. It's a very, very zig and zaggy trade at this level. I'm trying not to be myopic in my trading by looking at the larger time frame, so we're going to let this one go. I've got my stop in place. I've got my order in place, keeping an eye on that. But I'm liking how SOC is looking. My only thinking now is coming down into how I get more into SOC, because we don't have that much left. And I want to ride the trend at least into 14. It does seem like it's still headed up that way. It has been so strong. The last time it touched the 10 EMA on the 5 was 11:30. So that was an hour and 10 minutes ago. I'm talking about SOC. Very good trend continuation. BYND, I had to take off my trading screen because I've traded it so poorly today. But I wanted to mention that it is right back up into the 360s. It's about 10 or 11 pennies off the high of the day at 373. Marginally green, 1%. A little bit of 1% here, a little bit 0.84% there, really depending on when you're looking. But I'm not going to trade it anymore because I'm 0 for 3 on it, and that's going to be where I draw the line. So I'm looking mainly at SOC, MSAI, looking at working my way into more SOC. I have what I want with MSAI in terms of shares, and I'm looking for a price spike up back above $1. Are we going to Adara? Okay.
I have what I hope is the last update for some time here in the quantum saga. CNBC now confirming, much like we had Reuters saying earlier, that apparently a Commerce Department official spoke to them as well when they asked for comment, and they said they're not in any negotiations with any quantum names. So I want to settle things here with quantum, at least for right now. It looks like a Commerce Department official saying to CNBC they're not talking to any quantum companies with regards to equity stakes. Let's see if there's any more updates, but right now it looks like this might be the end of that whirlwind. Back to you.
All right, Joe, what do you got, my man?
Yeah, same thing, man. We're just talking a little about rest in peace, Arthur Jones, John Jones' brother, former NFL player. Like, man, what a family of athletes.
Oh, clearly.
The best fighter of all time, and I believe both of his brothers were in the NFL. So yeah, shout out to them. RGTI lied, says Mark Lasky. Very interesting. Bitcoin not doing too much for us here, Rusty Dutch. Keep that in mind. We were channel trading, and now we're coming back into the volume weighted average price. So I think it's really important to be patient. I'm glad that I just don't have short in my mind right now. I got money on my mind. I'm no, seriously, because it's so hard to short this market. I'm looking at some of the quantum names as well too. They're starting to sell, so we have to keep an eye out on that one. Katina, man, how's the chicken? It's actually really good. Okay, bang. We'll hit that one there. And then we'll do this one because we haven't hit that in a while either. So shout out to Jerome Powell and the inflation rates there. But guys, yeah. What's going on with this IBKR? Let's pull that up. Enough of talking about Tesla and all these other things, swing trading. Yeah, there goes IBKR. We talk about owning this name, 6522. The volume really starting to kick in here. Yeah, I know, Hinsey, yeah, it's sad. It's unfortunate for John. I think he wants to do the White House UFC just for his brother and everything along those lines. Even though Dana White says there's no chance that that's happening, I think there's a chance, right? So you're telling me there's a chance. For those who know what movie that is from. Who wants to fight? Who wants to fight? All right. No, in all seriousness, guys, back into these markets. Any specific, yeah, there you go, Charlie Tapp. And you guys understand what I'm going. Yeah, hopefully it happens. Guys, once again, I'm going to do the voting thing. I'm on a new browser, so I don't have the link. Fabian or Assassino, if you want to send me the link, or can you, yeah, put it up on the screen. What do we need a link for? Put the voting poll up there to see what we got. I'm going to vote once more. And then sure enough, bang, IBIT. If we can get that up there. Can we get that up there, guys, or no? The thing that, Fabian, the voting. The voting. Yeah, throw that up there on the screen, and let's see what the folks are looking at. We'll get those votes in here as soon as possible. Look at Tesla continue to go. This thing is done absolutely. It's been parabolic all day. Thanks, George. Thanks, George Garcia. I appreciate that very much. They're just blue lights, right? They're just blue lights. We try to stay spiffy. A gap up. There it is. Guys, get those votes in right now. Who's leading the way? Obviously, it's BYND. BYND. Bang. Well, I voted again. Maybe it counts twice. I don't know. We'll figure that one out there. No one's voting. There we go. Joe, what's Sharief doing? Jump in the child. No, John. No, John. He usually waits, right? He does the rundown and then he gets his lunch. There was no eggs this morning for breakfast, so he won't get to eat those eggs before he does the rundown. Pardon me? There's a lot of chicken left, so extra protein for a guy. Did you drink your morning creatine, Sean? No? Okay, yeah, I did. We got the creatine in the protein shake, so make sure you drink the morning creatine, get that rocking and rolling to see what's going on. I know Sharief probably did. Did you drink your daily creatine today?
No, I didn't, because I didn't session.
You didn't session in the morning?
Yeah.
Okay. Neil?
I didn't. Yeah.
I will have.
Hell no.
When I
all right.
When I go to the gym after the show, because we got that event tonight.
I
got my BCAAs as well.
In there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're both in there, baby.
All right, man. Good stuff.
Why'd you say hell no, Neil?
Yeah.
What's wrong with creatine, man? He's never used it.
Yeah, he's already lean. He's already lean, green.
He's lean, man.
All right, man. Shout out to.
Yeah.
I'm straight gear, son. I got all that gear. Like, you know, I'm on that Ben Johnson tip.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like, what was the
That's
Nandrolone or whatever the heck he was using? That's how I was. Don't I look like it? You all can tell. I'm just.
I can't believe you
get so
said that,
yoked. You don't use creatine. You just right on that juice.
Oh
straight
my
up, just
God.
me up to it.
You're just on that Winnie. Straight on that
Neil
Winnie.
went 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah, I did not expect Neil to say that. That's not Neil's brand.
No,
you know, like at all. Right? Like,
Saucy.
but I like that. I like that. He's just like, look, man, I'm gonna dunk on all you guys.
Are we going to someone?
I have no idea.
Go to Adara.
All right.
I want to do a little bit of housekeeping here. So at 1 p.m. in 13 minutes from now, we do have a couple things to be aware of. We're going to have the 5-year TIPS auction. Apparently $1.5 billion bid here for the 5-year TIPS auction. I just saw that coming through. Then we're also going to be getting at 1 p.m. a White House press conference there with White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. I'll be covering that briefing as well in case there is anything market related that is mentioned. Back to you.
All right, Joey options.
Yes, sir.
I'm still holding some MSAI. Is it zigs? It zags. It goes a little above $1, a little bit below. I got the ad that I wanted. I got the 10 EMA ad. If it loses a 10 EMA, that's where I end it. Jameson saying coin long. I'm going to look at it for you, brother, but you know that I'm not going to be trading coin, but I promise I will give you my objective opinion. Oh, wow. We've been in a bit of a range here, Joseph Options, with coin as of late. Let's flip to the 5 and see what's going on. Okay, so this is certainly a range. Intraday as well as on the daily. Looks like 323 generally is an area of resistance on coin despite having been above it in the pre, as well as right now we just popped up above it to 323.60 and change, but there's no continuation. It has support at 319 and it has resistance at 323. That's how I would trade it. I would be basing my levels based on that. Short at around this area, long at around this area until it breaks out or it breaks down. I wouldn't guess which one it's going to do. I would just execute at those levels and then, you know, obviously save a piece for the dream always in case it runs up or down, however you're taking it long or short. Let me know how it goes. Bovin saying AREB is going. Let's take a gander at ARAB money. All right, Bovin, my man, it's below VWAP, but I see what you're talking about. It's being bought up here at 260, but $3, that's my line. It has to be above 3 and has to be above VWAP. I don't say 3 because I like random numbers. That's where the volume weighted average price is. Where's the pre-market high? Show me immediately. Why is ARAB money not showing me the pre-market high and the aftermarket? Or give me a second. ARAB, your money, you're disappointing me over here, ARAB money. Why isn't it showing me this? Okay, bizarre. Anyway, what is this level over here? So the actual high of the day is 362, low of the day, while the closing print's around 220. So yeah, it looks like it did take out the pre-market high during regular trading hours. It'll have to get above that level though for me to stay interested, guys. So AREB, it's still on the side chart, but I'm not executing on it. Joe.
Okay, good stuff there, guys. I'm just looking at some of the quantum names.
Oh, wow,
they're super identical. So by all means, let's see what we got going on. Look how similar these patterns are. You get that move up and then you get those engulfing prints. I thought this was the same stock for a second. I'm like, why do I have the same name up for same in 2 slots there? But guys, I mean, by all means, I'll just hop out of this last little bit of Tesla. It's been a phenomenal run right up there. Bang, we caught that
Great
last
trade, brother.
right there. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So yeah, there it is, guys. Right off of the lows, bang, 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 all the way up to here. Again, we were out the majority of it here, and then we just leave a little bit of a runner, and then we just take this big time move all the way up to this peak there. So not too bad whatsoever. So yeah, let's go through a couple more names. Make sure you guys vote. We went through that earlier. We want to see more votes. What are our likes sitting at as well too, Sharief? Just in case.
Joey, can I just cover this for a second? Guys, SOC's breaking out, man. 1397 high of the day. It's about to test 14. This is the area that we thought, you know, work its way into. Shout out to Benton C for pointing this one out to me. 1397 high. Now I've got decisions to make. What's the move here? Are we going to wait for a move past 14? And if we do we take the breakout and add more shares? Because we don't have that many remaining. So I'm at decision mode here right now for SOC. And I want to show you what the chart pattern has been looking like. I was singing this one's praise earlier that it didn't touch the 10 EMA on the 5 since 11:30, but it did at 12:40 and then again at 12:45. But look at that candle. right there. Doji candle showing you the buyers were stepping in and they were liking that 10 EMA as much as I liked it. And there you go. You had the proof in the pudding, because that Doji candle led to this candle over here printing that new area high, higher lows, higher highs. It really now is about that whole dollar level into 14. Let's take a quick look here at the 4 hour so we can see if there's any areas of resistance we're going to have to worry about. And there's plenty. There's plenty of areas of resistance. 1450, that was a level back on the 16th. And then if we squeeze through 1450, we have a bit of a gap here all the way up to 1750. But based upon the way SOC is trading, it is not one of those ones that feels like it's going to gap that aggressively. So I wouldn't be looking for a 1750 move, but I could be certainly persuaded to think 1450 is within the cards. So that's what I'm going to be looking at there. If this one breaches 14, I'm going to be punching into more and looking for a move into 1450. Adam James.
Again.
Rigetti lied to the world about talks with the U.S. government. Short them to oblivion. Time for RGTZ or Z. Money time, Katina Man. Untrustworthy company now on record. Tell me how you really feel, Adam. I want to know that you look like you were sugarcoating things over there, Adam.
He was.
I want to know how you really feel.
I know, Adam. He will gladly tell you how he really feels.
He told everybody right there, brother. Yeah. So shout out to Adam. Look, brother. Yeah, it's a wild world out there, and you know,
Tesla's still going higher.
SEV moving. Trump is talking. What's he talking about, Joey?
Let's find out.
Are we going to Adara?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
No,
SEV. Okay, Bovin saying SEV is moving. Let's have a look at SEV.
What?
What's wrong, Ram? What happened? 925 high, not bad, Bovin, not bad. A little light on volume, but not bad. 927,000 shares. But this is a good stair step up, Bovin. What you guys are looking at here is SEV. Oh, no.
Yeah, dang. Wow, look at Tesla go, man.
Mark, is that the first test right there? Hey, attaboy, Mark. Mark's killing it back there with the jump. What's that? You're going to send it all back, Katina Man? Oh, no. Assassino, is there a way to show this, or there's no cameras?
Bro, what am I?
Direction? I can't hear you, brother. Oh, there it is. So there is your friend Mark. He is putting the screens together. Yes, that is actually coming in finally.
That's crazy.
I can't wait for this thing. It's going to be insane. This entire thing back there, what you guys see. So that's a desk right there, and there's going to be plenty of
484 of those mini.
484 of those mini screens. Assassino, if we can show one more time just so we can explain. So those mini screens that you see right there that are lit up in the middle of the screen, 400 and how many? 484 of those. So you see where Katina Man's standing? There's going to be a screen right there. That's going to be Brendo's and Adara's desk right there. Behind them is an entirely other screen that is going to be lit up. We're going to have market data. We're going to have everything on there. It's going to be crazy. We really did mean it when we said this is the biggest build out ever. Studio 8, Joey, is almost complete. Like, we're a couple of steps away, man.
Couple steps away, man. Yeah, I mean, there it is. Bang, bang.
Crypto ripping, Joey.
Is it? No.
Apparently.
No.
Find out.
If they're lying.
What are we doing? Oh, no, Joey. We're back above 110. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Here we go.
Not involved in it. Rusty. Yo, dude, I'm watching this thing. I don't even know what quality I'm in here. 1080p? This looks sick.
Yeah, 1080p is great, Joey, but don't aggravate your computer and don't click.
Yeah,
don't click.
Don't click.
You know what?
Don't hit the edge.
Don't hit edge.
Don't click the edge, man. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
Much.
I gotta watch some of this on the big screen at home, because that looks pretty spiffy if you ask me, guys. I can't even pull it up. I don't even think I'm allowed to or anything, even though I don't know why I wouldn't. I don't know why I wouldn't be allowed to, but
they're good to go.
Yeah, we're good to go. All right, yeah, let's take a look there, because hey, before we couldn't. We had issues with it before, but we're looking spiffy online here, man. That's some high quality camera stuff right there, if you ask me, Sharief. But as for the market, how was Tesla still climbing higher, going from negative to now positive? Big time move.
That's a big move.
Big time move there. TSLA was down 15% that one time. Now positive 2.5%? Get that garbage out of here. That's crazy. Now we're going to look for a long in IBIT, in all seriousness. It's been a fantastic day. Yesterday we were red. Tuesday we were green. Monday we were green. We were trading some Amazon for the swing trade. We're working on the algo. The spirits are most definitely high. But the thing is, though,
Yes, sir.
When everything is good and rolling smooth, you got to contain yourself because you never know what's around the corner.
You never know, Joey.
Everything can turn on its head come tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
The Leafs continue to suck. That's almost inevitable. That really sucks. The Jays could lose. They could drop 2 at home. I don't think that's going to be the case. Then you're not having a good time. You go from having a good time to a bad time just like that.
Joey.
Yeah.
I don't want you to...
Oh, man.
Joey, yesterday I showed you a chart on Bloom Energy.
Yeah.
And where did I say it held up before?
That level you were talking about.
That yellow line, right, Joey?
Yeah.
And look what it did yesterday.
What it did. Yeah,
it's a beauty.
Yo, zoom in on that. Can you zoom in on that?
Bloom Energy, guys. Look, I got to shout out Mitch for calling this one out. He called it back in the summer when this thing was 30, 40 bucks. It's gone up to 125. Look, it's a different world now for hydrogen. We don't have to crap on hydrogen anymore and call it the dumb young cousin of electric vehicles. No, they're using it for something else. They're using it for data centers because it's deployable so much faster than nuclear. And it's green, right? So we've heard about the Memphis residents complain that Elon's polluting the air with his gas turbines that are generating power for his data center there for XAI. But hydrogen is slowly being included in that sort of power generation equation for these data centers. And you've seen the reaction with some of these names. And Bloom Energy, one of them, great green day, up 7.25% today. Shout out to 2 New York Cents, who pointed this one out to me earlier. I didn't have eyes on it on the day. Obviously, I've been talking about it forever. But yeah, shout out to you, my man. Good look there. And I'll be certainly interested in working into some more if it is warranted. So we'll keep tabs on that. And then I also want to talk to you guys about SOC, because the high of the day now is $14. And it's holding right there right now, not a penny higher. 14, up 18%. I'm looking for a break of 14, then I'm going to add a little bit more because we don't have that much left, Joey.
All right, good stuff there. Also, guys, we gotta pull this thing up here once in a while. Has that number changed? I know Sean was like, hey, that's what I'm saying. He's like, Fabian, is it working or is it not? It's the same numbers across the board. Someone, again, listen, if you're not subscribed, just hit it. We want to see in real time. This is no trick if it actually changes. So if you're not subscribed, do us a solid and see if anything. I'll hit it one more time. If anything, come on.
What happened? What are you guys doing? I'm not even noticing.
This.
What happened?
Tequila, man.
It's the same. Did you unsubscribe?
The numbers don't change.
Do you remember when you were on the show with Arun and we asked him and he would like load up the chat, Arun, because people want to ask you something and he wasn't subscribed? And I was like, on the show, it's like, are you kidding me? It was like, what the hell is going on, right? Yeah, it was embarrassing.
Yeah.
It was good times. All right, Joey. Continue to watch your SOC. Looking for continuation. What's your look on this side of the world over here in large caps? You see my friend over there? You see it, Joey? You see that, Joey? Don't say it.
Wow.
You see that, Joey? I just took out 20%, my man.
Oh, did you, my boy?
I just took out 20%.
Let's go. You have to. No, you have to.
It's up 17.83. I gave you guys this swing a long time.
What is it traded on?
Impinge. It's NQ, Joey.
Is it actually?
PI.NQ.
Well,
it's not a crappy stock, dude. It's
clearly not.
It's a $7 billion market cap.
Bang.
So, guys, I gave you guys this one in addition to Bloom Energy Pi. Impinge. I gave you guys this a long time ago. I got rinsed on this one on the way down. Just going to tell you the honest truth. We got long at the 200 moving average at 170, and I got rinsed for a $30 loss. I stopped out below 140. But we made that back and then frickin' some, because we punched in aggressively into that 110 and we've been holding. We're over $100 frickin' in the money on Impinge. Keep your eye on this one. This is a new all-time frickin' high on Impinge. PI, if you guys remember, I don't know exactly what day, but I've been telling you about this for a long time. It's really going, and it's one of my best moving swings in a long time.
How many dollars?
Over $100. Yeah, I just took out 20%.
That's a good. No, that's a good play.
We're gonna have to take out a little bit more here, Joey, because it's at all-time high. So I do anticipate some
a little bit of some selling
exactly.
there.
And it have an 18.5% day. You're gonna get. There's gonna be there's going to be some profit taking. Sorry about that, Assassino. Yeah, so that's it. We can start the news anytime. It is after 1 now, so let's get started.
Let me talk about something here quick.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
So we just seen crypto breaking out, and the first thing that I noticed was look at the volume profile, right? This can tell you worlds. Yes, it's substantial, but we have candles equally as big. What we would want to see on this engulfing print is something substantially larger. And I'm like, hey, that is awfully suspicious. Let me wait for this pullback to see if buyers are going to re-engage, and then look what happened right there. So essentially it goes back to the effort and then the result. Look at the effort within the volume and the result within that candle print. They're both strong, but when you have something that's this massive, and essentially from an average true range standpoint, the largest on the intraday session, we're going to want to see a little bit more. Here, look, substantially bigger, and even in the earlier prints when the volume is coming in, yes, I understand that, but for that breakout, you want that to be an isolated candle or somewhat close to it. That wasn't doing it for me, so at the end of the day, that's why I didn't take that continuation trade on IBIT long. We talked about getting all out on Tesla. That's that move. That's an all-day fader right there. Oh, not fade, but all-day catcher. I mean, you're not going to get the tops all the time, but not too far off of it, off of the lows. Bang, bang, bang. Shout out to Trading Blue Ocean. I love watching you guys, watching from Thailand.
Wow.
Dang. What time is it over there?
You know what, Joe? He's going to have his own show.
Oh, the Asian.
Are we allowed to leak some of that computer or not quite yet? Yeah, I know, but like it's the same distance.
This guy say it was from.
Are we allowed?
All right. Well, okay. We're not allowed or allowed? We're not allowed to risk getting trouble.
I know. I'll get Brendo's watching, and I'll get a message immediately.
Yeah, immediately.
Right, like,
right away. Hey, man, don't say anything.
All right, no, play it. Let's get down to work, Joey. We're going to start the news, so let me just put this over here on a trading screen where I don't need. Well, too late, says Jacques. Well, I didn't say too much, brother. All right, let's talk about Tesla. Your boy Joey's been printing up a storm today on TSLL. Let's talk about what's going on with TSLA. Pardon me there. So earnings, guys. Look, it was a beat on the top line, a miss on the bottom line. Let's talk about why. $28.1 billion, a record revenue quarter for them, 12% year over year, beating estimates of $26.37 billion. That's all hunky-dory. Where does it fall apart, though? Well, it falls apart on the next line. EPS came in at 50 pennies. The street wanted more. They wanted 54 pennies. Net income as well fell 37%, down to $1.37 billion. It's pressured by the following: price cuts and a 50% jump in research and development spending, which is largely tied to AI and their robotics project. Of course, we're talking about Optimus. Despite all that, automotive revenue, rose 6%. A lot of that increase is being credited to the pull forward of demand as a result of the expiration of the $7,500 federal EV tax credit, which expired September 30th. And so they're saying a lot of people were buying cars before that $7,500 was no longer offered. In addition, Joey, and this is something we've been talking about a lot, regulatory credit sales. Tesla obviously doesn't pollute that much, and so they sell some of these regulatory credits to polluters who buy it and offset. And that's how they've been able to stay positive in terms of EPS for a long time. Those regulatory credits plunged 44%. Now, you can look at this one of two ways. You can say, okay, well, Tesla no longer needs to rely on the selling of regulatory credits to stay profitable. But the thing is, they missed on EPS. So can you really say that? So we'll have to see what the next earning report comes like. It wasn't discussed too much in the earnings call. Let's talk about their margins and their demand pressures. We talked about the expiration of the federal EV tax credits, as well as the headwinds that they have in Europe as a result of Elon Musk's political stances. The product pipeline is what the majority of analysts want to focus on, and that's what comprises most of the market cap for Tesla, the future demand for these following products: the Cybercab, the semi-truck, and the Megapack 3 production. All were confirmed to start volume production in Q2 of 2026. They say they're on schedule, as well as work continues on the Optimus humanoid robot with production lines likely to start in Q1 of 2026. Optimus version 3 will be what they deliver from that. They also said they're looking at expanded, their robo-taxi fleet in the current jurisdictions where they operate. We're talking about Austin and the Bay Area. And they want to add new robo-taxi fleets in 8 to 10 new metro areas by the end of this year. So there's not that much time left. I think we got a couple of months and a week, 2 months and a week for him to add 8 to 10 new areas by the end of 2025. Going on to the last topic here, Joey, energy growth business. That's what Randy was talking about yesterday, if you recall, during his and I's little chat. He said, Sharief, you missed out speaking about the energy business, and this is why. Joey, energy generation and storage management revenue surged 44% to now a little bit less than $3.5 billion, which represents 1/4 of their total revenue. And the growth in this category was driven by the mega packs.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one thing that we've been talking about for a while now, Sharief. We continuously seen through its previous quarters that division continuously start to grow, and now you get that exponential growth starting to amount to 1/4 of it, which is absolutely phenomenal. And watch out, it's going to continue to do so because energy storage is really important. But let's not beat around the bush, guys. We know with Tesla, they're not always going to double beat him. In fact, if you go back to the earnings report from 2024, it's very rare, right? I mean, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 reports, and 2 of them they've double beat. I think that's just been the narrative. There's a lot going on. You have to stay optimistic within this, no pun intended there whatsoever, because I think at the end of the day, it's going to lead into the robotics. That thing was dancing up a storm. Katina Man showed us that video. And then obviously with the autonomy as well too. So again, you're a couple years down the road. We know the likes of Waymo and Zoox, they're not going to be profitable for another 5 years. I don't see why there would be any different for Tesla. He's starting to increase his geofence in Austin, which is something positive, and he wants to get into more metropolitan cities, which is absolutely huge. Is he going to get into as many as he plans on it? Chances are no. He's extremely optimistic and forward-looking, and falls a little bit short sometimes, but I think if he stays on the grind, the pay package gets approved, I think that Tesla can take the world by storm, because I told you, autonomy is the future. I don't know how old I'm going to be before I don't have to drive anymore, but hopefully not too old, and hopefully Canada can adapt to that.
I want to mention one quick thing, Joey, because FSD was being spoken about, of course, as it always is. We're on version 14, but version 14 requires, for full use, hardware version 4. A lot of cars are not hardware version 4, they're version 3. Elon and company yesterday made comments that they want to drop an FSD version 14 Lite for these hardware version 3 cars. So it's not going to be the full version 14, but they want to be able to, you know, for the older cars, not to upgrade the hardware and actually be able to operate with the same hardware, just an edited version of FSD 14. So be on the lookout for that. That includes, you know, your car too, Katina Man. So you may even be able to get 14 for that trip down to Boston, Katina Man. Shout out to you. So that, yeah, go ahead, Joe.
No. Someone said Darth Z, he's got the Tesla symbol in his thing. He's like, I love the car. He has 2 of them, but not a fan of the stock. And I can understand why. But I think things are going to start to cool down with Elon. I think he's learned his lesson on the erratic tweet truths and whatever he may be doing, the X posts. I think he's learned his lesson on that front. And the brand damage that he experienced with going through Doge, I think he's a very, very smart man, and he will continue to say what he wants, but I think he'll tone it down a little bit, and I think that's going to cool off some of the volatility within the stock itself.
Well said, Joe. All right, Adara, what's the take on Tesla?
Yeah, you guys spoke on it really thoroughly. I don't have too much to say, though. I do have a couple points to add, but I do want to talk about some news that's dropped. For one, I'm waiting for this press conference to start here at the White House. I'll keep you guys posted when that begins. I also have METC up here, Ramaco Resources. This one dropping after Wolfpack announces they've reinitiated their short in our METC, that's Ramaco Resources. Last but not least story I want to mention here, and probably the biggest story, New York Times reporting that the Trump admin is going to be investigating China's compliance with the 2020 trade deal. Again, one more time, Trump administration reportedly investigating China's compliance with the 2020 trade deal, as reported by the New York Times. Now, I'll get back to TSLA here now that I've gone over these news stories. With regards to Tesla, guys, I mean, obviously, nice push up here. Not usually how you see Tesla react to these earnings reports, especially of late. So congratulations to Joe and anybody who had that long. I do want to say here, though, for Tesla, Tesla. One thing, and I'm not saying that Elon is never going to deliver all of the many products that he promised during this conference. I'm saying that with Elon, you have to remember that the timeline that he gives is often a suggestion and not the rule. So we might not get these quite when we want them to be gotten. That being said, I think, yeah, if we do get this Cybercab and reduction by Q2 2026, I think that'll be a good look. And I honestly like the honesty of Elon saying, hey, this robo or whatever, the Optimus might be a little bit harder to construct than we thought because, you know, he's being realistic. He's trying to think out these scenarios. We'll have to see if he gets his pay package approved. I suspect he will. But then even after that happens, you're going to also have the issue of potentially some more legal fights like what we had with the 2018 pay package. Either way, I think November 6th is going to be the next really interesting date for Tesla here with that meeting.
Thank you.
He said he's looking for full production on robotaxi by Q2 2026.
Yeah.
Zero chance.
Oh. I'm just telling you.
I'm not arguing with you. At the end of the day,
dude, I've said this before. The amount of people that obsess over this company and that do crazy ass, you know what? That fly drones over all their production facilities. They see stuff moving around. They're on it, man. They're really on it. So if there was something to report, I think we would have got leaks on it. In the same way that we got leaks when the robotaxi or the not robotaxi, the new Model Y, the Juniper. Remember we started seeing that around places and people were posting it all over Twitter or X, right? We knew it was coming out. We knew it was the next one because a lot of people are just covering it. They care about the company a lot. They have a lot. You look, man, this company's minted multiple millionaires. And so people see that and they're invested.
Someone's probably made a couple $1 million today off this stock, just continuously climbing higher. Like I thought I was going to get out roughly around the top here on it, Sharief, but it's still it's just
going,
squeezing,
man.
It's just squeezing people out right now.
It's the strongest Mag 7 name on the day now.
It's just squeezing people out.
It was the only red one. It is now the strongest one.
I mean, down 7% at one point. Now it's
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I have no idea.
Yeah, now it's TSL, so it's up 2%. 2.25 there. So I mean, this thing is it's a squeeze. This is squeeze price action, guys. Like this.
Yeah, it's liquidity grabs. I mean, like look at this. I'm looking at the 1 minute chart. There's barely any red candles on the one.
So there it is, 2.25 as I mentioned before off TSL, and that's all it's doing right now. You're at right back at the top end of the range. You're north of where you opened up yesterday. Adam, James, HPN. Oh, okay, I get it there. We had to just read that one there. Yeah, I mean, that's what we're talking about there, Neil. Bang, 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 bang. Adam, James, HPN. Mom, your spaghetti sucks.
Go RGTZ. Well, we know how Adam feels about Rigetti, man. He told everybody to short. He doesn't like them.
Adam feels about a lot of
He's calling them, you know, he said they're liars, so shout out to Adam. Let's go on to the next story, Joey. IBM tops Q3 estimates, lifts their 2025 guidance, but the shares do drop on concern. So let's talk about what they did. Adjusted EPS coming in at 265, topping expectations at 245 on revenue of 16.33 billion ahead of the 16.09, so an easy beat on the top and bottom line, and a nice revenue increase year over year, 9%. Up from 15 billion, so a good move, about $1.25 billion increase in revenue on the quarter. Net income hit 1.74 billion versus the $330 million loss that they had last year on the quarter. But I have to bring your attention to one quick one-off line. That $330 million loss last year, maybe not directly comparable because they had a $2.7 billion pension charge, a one-off item that was non-recurring. Talk about their segment breakdown. Software revenue met expectations, 10% year over year increase though, 7.21 billion. Consulting revenue, 5 1/3 ahead of the 5 1/4 expected by the street. And their infrastructure, which includes mainframes and hybrid cloud systems, jumped 17% year over year, up to $3.6 billion, with the CEO highlighting the AI-driven modernization continues. Speaking of that AI business, Joey, that surpassed $9.5 billion as a revenue generator, their biggest one, up from $7.5 billion in Q2. That's a quarter-over-quarter bump, not year over year. So that's $7.5 billion. That was Q2. This is $9.5 billion for Q3. So that's pretty aggressive in terms of growth. AI is now their core pillar of revenue growth with respect to some adjustments that they're making. They cut about 200 HR roles by automating workflows within its own AI system. So we've been talking about this for a long time. Sadly, some people will likely lose their job because of AI and or not get hired to begin with. We talked about entry-level jobs. They cut 200 HR roles through automation. With respect to their guide, they raised their full-year outlook now to more than 5%. Last time they said it was going to be less than 5%. Now they're guiding more. And the board declared, this is always nice, Joey, a quarterly dividend. Ooh. You get $1.68 a share, obviously reaffirming their commitment to shareholders.
Yeah, that's huge. Is that new, or did they just up it?
They declared a quarterly dividend.
Okay, yeah. I mean, remember when Meta did that? What happened to the stock?
Yeah,
it just went.
It's a divvy.
Yeah, it's a divvy, man. You're paying out the investors. No, Red Hat, the hybrid system, doing relatively well here in IBM, and you can't deny what's going on from a chart standpoint. It's just the consistent higher lows, steady trend. Everything outside of that to me is just noise. I think IBM is a fantastic company. We went through a slew of them. Not the most popular. They're involved with the quantum space as well, too, Sharief. So they got a lot of things going on. And then look at this monster recovery after that gap down on earnings. Boom. Never mind that. This is big time. 264 all the way up to 284, $20 as quick as you'd like. IBM looking really good, Sharief.
All right. Just before we go to Adara, I want to mention that BYND is breaking down now. It has broke down quite badly off that 373 high. Now it's barely holding on to 3. It's below the volume-weighted average price. It tried to hold VWAP there. This looks like it was a bull trap with this green candle making a first 5-minute candle make a new high and a higher low. But then the shorts used that. They fooled everybody. And here we go to the downside. We're down now 14%.
I don't know if you've heard of them, but anyways, some ex-trader guy has been trading for a long time. His name's Dux. 7 million
on BYND.
Short yesterday.
Short. Wow.
Yesterday. Yeah. 7 million.
That's crazy. That's a big move. I don't know why he wouldn't. Yeah, it was long. You had both. You had the long and you had the short. There was both.
Yeah. 7 million bucks.
That's intense. Adara, IBM.
Yeah, I think, honestly, with this one, I think one thing I really want to mention that I found interesting, honestly, the thing that stood out to me the most from this report is the software revenue. So as you can see here, this is my earnings infographic I made for this. So last quarter, Q2 2025, they had roughly 10% increase year over year in software revenue, but it missed estimates. Now, this time, once again, 10% year over year increase for software revenue for Q3, but still in line with estimates. Not something that necessarily stock's going to react to, but in a report that was generally strong. And remember, this happened with Qualcomm probably about a year ago from now. We were like, why is this down? Report is strong. Well, as Neil mentioned, stocks don't necessarily need a reason to drop or move. It's not always going to react to earnings. But the other thing, too, is if you've got a report that's really strong, you might have sellers or market participants just looking for that one piece of weakness. And in the case here, IBM, second quarter in a row, that does appear to be their software segment revenue. Now, again, still up year over year, but kind of at this point just meeting analyst estimates. I think it's one kind of interesting point here, probably the thing that stood out to me the most from this report. Either way, solid report, and much like Tesla, not yet green on the day, but certainly recovering very nicely from those lows.
Let's go on to the next one. USI stake in quantum as national security priority. So let's talk about what the Trump administration is doing. He's in talks with several quantum computing companies to give the Commerce Department equity stakes in exchange for federal companies. Funding. We're talking about IONQ. We're talking about Rigetti, RGTI, QBTS, QUBT, and Atom Computing. The plan, of course, marks an expansion of Washington's interventionist industrial policy targeting strategic technologies. So here's the deal. Each firm could receive about $10 million in federal funding in return for partial government ownership. This reflects, of course, a new economic doctrine. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the U.S. must be careful not to overreach, clarifying that the investments would be limited to strategic industries like AI, chips, and quantum. And the initiative comes as China accelerates their own investments in quantum computing and advanced materials. We're going to pause for a second and go to Adara.
Guys, want to let you guys know here, WBD moving a little bit, making new high of days. The Verge reporting that Netflix, Amazon, and Apple are amongst the buyers interested in Warner Brothers. Now, I do want to clarify, we already knew this. This is something that was reported a while ago, but either way, Amazon, Apple, and Netflix, again, reportedly interested in buying Warner Brothers. This report's getting recirculated, and WBD is making another move higher. Back to you.
All right, it looks like this was kind of like debunked, right? Computing as usually may take stakes. So people are saying this is fake news.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to know what really is the truth. So Commerce official tells CNBC White House not negotiating on quantum stock stakes. So you can make of it what you want. We'll have to see what ends up happening in real life. But yeah, that was the report this morning. They pumped up on it, but now QUBT is down from the highs there, Joey. 1609 highs trading around 15.5.
Yeah, I mentioned our guy Adam Healing Pain naturally was mentioning it as well too, regards to Rigetti. I was watching it on Blue Ocean last night. If it's fake news, then you can see that the market obviously is pricing that in as well too. So just completely baking out. Oh, that's great. That's some great stuff there. SMCI?
It's might go SSR, yeah, 8.5%.
Might go, okay, SMCI might go SSR. No, not the USSR or whatever. I'm saying too many S's. Yeah, I'm saying too many S's there, Katina, man. It just rolls out. It just rolls out. Okay, what was I going to get to? There's everything going on around here. Trying to concentrate. Yeah, watch out for that. Watch out for this pullback in the quantum space. I want things to cool off a little bit before I get involved. I think you have to remain forward-looking because none of these companies are making any money just yet. But if the government really does look to get involved, then sure enough, I think regards to the AI race, it's best that they just continuously innovate and get involved in what's going on around them.
All right, Adair, quantum.
Yeah, I have to say this was probably the most back and forth news cycle that I've had since the whole is Trump firing or not firing Jerome Powell or the breakup of Elon Musk and Donald Trump. This was very fun for me to cover, but it was a lot. And I think what's interesting too is that it seems like it kind of got swept under the rug. But as I mentioned, Reuters actually reported a while ago, pretty much exactly after this Wall Street Journal report was released, that they contacted the Commerce Department, and the Commerce Department said, hey, we're actually not talking to any of these quantum companies. So it's interesting, that seemed to have been forgotten. We had that massive pop in quantum. Then I saw that recirculate after the Wall Street Journal report got blown up by Yahoo Finance, being like, okay, so there was already some evidence ahead of time that maybe this was a bit shaky. Then I think the nail in the coffin for them is when CNBC goes and says, hey, yeah, this is not a thing. We had the Commerce Department contact us as well. So the fact that the Commerce Department told not one but two news sources that this isn't happening, right now it doesn't seem like it's happening. That being said, could be, a little bit of confusion. We know the market is want to do that, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens there. Either way, I think the most fascinating aspect of this is Rigetti immediately denying the story, telling CNBC that basically, in their opinion, the government has to invest in quantum or they face a national security risk.
All right, Alibaba. What is it called, that new thing that they have? I'm just trying to get the Quark AI glasses. Quark AI glasses. Let's see what these things look like, dude. Because this is the next story here. I just want to take a quick look. AI-powered smart glasses. Are these by Alibaba? Yeah, this is the one here, Joey. Let's take a look. This is July 28th. No, that's really old. So I'm not seeing any new ones, but we'll look at, if you want to pull that up while I read the story. Yeah, so Baba announced pricing for its new Quark AI glasses, now available for pre-sale on the 24th. So that's tomorrow. It's going to be on Tmall. Glasses are priced at about $660, 4,700 yuan, but discounts will bring the cost down. According to the article, it's about $560 or about 4,000 yuan. The shipments will begin in December, and the glasses run on the QUEN large language model, which is Baba's LLM, as well as the Quark AI assistant. So you're going to get both those bad boys on there. And we know that Alibaba also unveiled their new AI chat assistant with the Quark app. It's powered again by QUEN 3 AI models. So yeah, I think that is it, Joey.
That was it, because I just seen on
yeah, this is it right here.
TMC. Yeah, so those are it, Sharief.
Yeah, I think you're right, Joey. So those are it right there. I think we got the summer headline there, and then we're getting the actual release of the product. So this is what they look like. But I've been watching some, mixed feedback on the Meta ones. People have been kind of making fun of them a little bit because they're so limited in their use. They're a very novel product, but there's very, very little you can actually do with the augmented reality stuff. It's like directions. That's all you really can do, and then maybe responding to text messages and stuff.
Well, you can record video.
Yeah, no, that's normal. I'm talking about the augmented reality where they project onto the screen. Very limited, but then again, it's a version 1, so what do we really expect, right?
Yeah. But what else? Like, here it is. This is the Chinese just going neck and neck with the Americans once again. Oh, you guys want to put something out? we're going to do the exact same thing. And chances are it's probably going to be significantly cheaper. How much are those things roughly there, Sharief? Did we read
like
up?
$650. Okay, yeah, $500.
And the Meta AIs are running around the same price there, I think. So maybe not too much different, but I'm sure they'll find a way to undermine it and sell them significantly cheaper.
Right, I'm leading some of the comments here about this. You guys are funny.
Yeah.
All right, Adara. New glasses. They were trying to mix it with their LLM and their AI assistant.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't get the whole appeal here with these AI smart glasses. I know the CEO of EssilorLuxottica, which of course Ray-Bans, that's who Meta was working for with their glasses. They said that that's going to be the future of AI and of like product interaction and social media. I mean, we're going to have to wait and see what happens. It's clear that regardless of my opinions or anybody else's opinions, these companies that make these products seem to agree. I suspect we see more AI glasses products. And I kind of wonder, to my knowledge, Google doesn't really have anything like this. Microsoft doesn't really have anything like this. I wonder if any of the other Mag 7s step up to the plate in this regard. And I actually think, and now I'm going to be, I don't usually like to look forward and speculate like this, but now I'm just kind of curious and I'm steamrolling here. What if Tesla ever put out like an AI glasses product? That could be interesting, like with a driving related component. Either way, like I said, regardless of personal opinions on this, it's clear that these companies are going to continue to put these out like hotcakes. And so I think it's at this point, it's kind of a waiting game to see who does one next.
Thank you.
I don't even know if I would buy the Tesla ones. Like, would you buy the Tesla phone? Everybody's talking about Elon coming out with a phone.
If I had a Tesla car and there was some sort of, you know, like
it's just completely
mixing,
compatible.
Yeah, if there was some sort of benefit, yeah, that would. Eh? Yeah, for sure. Rock is cool in the car. I'm definitely. I mean, I would be.
Rock is cool in the car?
Pardon me? The Rock.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Grok. I was saying rock.
No, Grok. It's because it's sick.
Yeah,
He threw that in right away.
Not Dwayne the Rock. I was yeah, but that's what I was hearing in my ear.
All good.
Yeah.
No, but it's obviously very convenient to have that on.
Yeah.
Guac tastes good. Yes, it does, Katina, man. Let's talk about American Airlines. Where are they at? They reported earnings this morning, and they were up pretty good, up pretty nicely, I should say. We're up 4% right now, not really at the highs. Well, 1285 was the high. We're trading at about 1260. They reported a smaller than expected Q3 loss, with an adjusted loss coming in at 17 pennies per share. Well smaller, though, than the 28 expected, negative 28 pennies by the street. Revenue coming in at 13.69 billion, narrowly beating the 13.63 expected. Despite the loss, though, investors were focused on the company's upbeat Q4 and full-year guidance. For Q4, let's talk about that. AAL expects earnings to come in at between 45 to 75 pennies per share, well ahead, even with the range being wide, well ahead of the 31 pennies expected, and their full-year EPS coming in at 65 to 95, again, easily beating that 43 pennies expected by analysts. So makes pure sense why they're running up here. The carrier projects also Q4 capacity to grow about 3 to 5% year over year, despite the fact that they've seen shifts in travel plans with, you know, some weakness occurring in the summer. They say that they're encouraging carriers to adjust their flight schedule. I mean, the shift is encouraging carriers to adjust their flight schedules, and they said the summer travel boom was less profitable as a result of a lot of domestic flight oversupply. And they continue to face margin pressures, Joey, from rising fuel costs as well as labor expenses. But you got to like the look of the outlook over here.
Yeah, UAL, right? So
AAL.
Yeah. AAL. Let's pull it up here. I mean, listen, I was telling you earlier, Sharief.
Yes, sir.
I was running my algo through everything, just going through a basket of stocks, any random name, and I'm like, hey, let's find a sector where it's not working that good. And that was going to be the airline sector. And why? I had to zoom out onto a daily to see why specifically. So it's no real consistent uptrend. I think that's really important. We've seen it in the likes of Delta, that obviously the premium is going to start outpacing the economy, which obviously is like, hey, the higher end of the consumer tend to not cool down, but the lower end usually does and feels the brunt of things. But as for the overall space, we have the Jets ETF as well too. I was running this. That's not too bad of a look. I think if you're going to get involved with some of these airline names, the ETF might be the route, or DAL, which isn't horrible either, but AAL, a little bit tougher of a look there, Sharief.
All right, Adara, AAL, there were a lot of good things to like about this report, but there's also a lot to worry about with domestic oversupply, margin pressure, and labor costs.
Yeah, I mean, too, I think maybe one thing to just be worried about, though AAL is not reacting to it right now. Oil, we know, pushed higher, right? So, I mean, oil prices sometimes, as we have geopolitical issues, we know how that happens. Oil goes higher. Some of these airlines and travel names, including cruise lines, as a result, they kind of push lower. So maybe something to be aware of here, not super directly, but potentially worth noting. Yeah, this net loss compared to profit last year, that's maybe a bit interesting to me. But this earnings growth is pretty strong, specifically their guidance here as well. I like, that's what I mean by growth there. Their guidance is not a bad look here. And again, better than expected loss reported this quarter, regardless of how it compared on a year-over-year basis. So I think now what we have to look to is ALK earnings. They're going to be Alaska Airlines reporting after the bell. ETA 7:45, so we might not get them during the recap, but sometimes these names report earlier. LUV reported as well. To my knowledge, that was at least decently received earlier this morning. So airlines definitely in focus.
One thing that really caught my attention, to be honest with you, was the fact that they didn't speak about premium cabin.
And its growth?
Yeah. Typically, what we hear from these airlines is, here's how much first class or business class grew, because that's where they make money. Let's cut the crap. They don't make money on economy.
We heard that in Delta.
Exactly. We heard about that from Delta. We heard that from United. We didn't hear anything about that from American. Is American becoming like this budget-friendly airline carrier where we don't talk about premium?
Yeah.
Because that's what I want to hear about. But clearly, hey, they did well. They were shoring up costs.
When I flew to Dallas, I was on American Airlines.
Yeah.
They're stingy over there.
They're stingy, huh?
Stingy,
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
They're not interested in being like that luxury-ish.
No, not whatsoever.
You know what I mean?
They're stingy on the. I'm like, what do you think I want these? I don't want your peanuts. It's like, yeah, you get something else there. Some water.
When's the last time you flew? Oh, I'm not gonna bring that again. Air Canada. I don't want to know you. I don't want to know you because I hate Air Canada. Air Canada used to be the best. Now it's absolute hot garbage.
It's the absolute worst.
Hot garbage.
And I have pure aeroplane. Yeah, Assassino hates it. I don't think there's an individual on the planet who was like, yeah, I'm so thrilled and happy to be with Air Canada.
God. Can I say something? When I was studying in England, Air Canada was the shiznit.
The bee's knees.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. If I was taking Air Transit there my first year. Air Transit is bad because you land in this airport called Gatwick. You don't land in Heathrow, right? Okay. But Air Canada lands in Heathrow. That wasn't just the good stuff. The good stuff was they had TVs back in 07, 08 when nobody had TVs.
It was quality,
man.
Quality.
It just went poof.
Dude, so my friends and I on the way to Chicago were flying Air Canada. My buddy's like, hey, it's my birthday. Can I get 2 beers? She's like, yeah, for sure. I'm like, can I get 2 beers? And she's like, no, sir, it's only an hour and something flight. I'm like, what? I'm paying for this. Actually, no, we didn't have to pay for it. That's the thing. And she didn't. I'm like, what kind of stinginess is this?
I don't know, bro.
I don't know, man.
The airline business is
I'm still waiting for my direct deposit from these guys.
You're still waiting?
Still waiting.
What'd you say, Katina, man? There's a lot of hatred. Can you feel the hatred? I can certainly feel it.
Man.
All right, man, let's go on. More airline information here. Boeing appoints a new China president amid rising tensions. We know how important Boeing is for America's trade relationships with China. We're going to get to that in a second. Adira's got breaking news.
Yeah, speaking of that trade relationship with China, we have White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. She just started her conference. She went over Trump's schedule, and she said, I believe it's on Thursday next week, he's going to be speaking to President Xi in South Korea. So it has been scheduled. I know there's been a lot of back and forth as to if it's going to happen, but sounds like as of right now, this is on the schedule for Trump to meet with President Xi. Back to you.
All right, let's talk about this. So Boeing appointed Landon Loomis.
Oh, my days.
Oh, boy, that name. I know that name. As the new president of Boeing China, effective immediately.
Hold on. Sorry, Sharief.
Go ahead, Joey.
Big
go
time
ahead.
Pops in Bitcoin.
Oh,
baby. Crypto starting to move here once again. It's a chicken dinner winner, Katina, man. Oh, something's going on with Bitcoin. It's going nuts right now.
It's going to where it rightfully belongs, Joey.
To the moon.
Yeah. Hey.
There it is on Bitcoin. Crazy. Rusty Dutch, my boy. Another big time breakout. I didn't put any shares on whatsoever. We got 20%, but we'll take that all day. Shout out Rusty Dutch. Shout out Denise Michelle.
Man, Denise Michelle is the best vibe in the chat, bro. She's always throwing those emoticons that are happy emoticons.
Her and John Von Soyers.
Oh, yeah. John's all class.
John, all class John and Denise. So thank you guys very much. And Jody Mills. Shout out Jody Mills.
There's a bunch of great people, bro. I'm not gonna. I don't mean to sing aloud. But let's keep going here, Joey. So this Loomis guy, this Landon Loomis, he's gonna replace Alvin Liu, who served since August 2023. He's gonna continue to hold the VP of Global Policy. But Loomis brings extensive China and U.S. government experience, having served as a trade attaché at the U.S. Embassy in Beijing, and then later as a special advisor to former Vice President Mike Pence. Boeing Global President Brendan Nelson praised Loomis's experience as ideal for navigating, I should say, the complex political and business relations between Washington and Beijing. So why is this important? Well, we know for a fact that as of June, Boeing had 20 737-8 aircraft in inventory awaiting delivery to Chinese carriers. Bloomberg, for their part, they reported in August that Boeing was negotiating a deal to sell up to 500 jets to Chinese airliners, which is a game changer for the company's struggling international sales. Separately, rival Airbus just opened a second assembly line in China, so they're definitely looking at disrupting Boeing's China business, Joey. Tell them about this, and then we'll talk a little bit more.
We'll tell them about that, man. We're cooking up there on, we're not using e-signals, but new traders, listen up. First month free, that's right. We're waiving fees, trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to elite, analyze, strategize, capitalize.
Do it.
Everything, infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with backtesting, reliable real-time data, global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform.
Okay.
Don't miss out. Execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading?
Yes.
Scan that QR code. Check that link in the description, folks.
All right, Joey, so a big market for Boeing is China. Let's just not pretend that it's not.
Nope.
They're trying to be disrupted by Airbus, and there's obviously the geopolitical tensions between the United States and China.
Yep.
Is this a good move by Boeing to better navigate that relationship?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's actually a fantastic move from Airbus to try to swoop in and take some share from these guys, considering there's really no competition in the commercial airspace. It's those two names at the end of the day. So I think it's a fantastic play from Boeing. Hopefully they can get their act together, start beating on deliveries, start producing a little bit more planes, because they got that FAA, I think it was approval or something along those lines, to produce more.
42 from 38.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. Okay, well, 4 more. Yeah, bang. We'll take it.
Hey, it's better than nothing,
better than nothing at the end of the day. So yeah, not too bad of a look there. But also good looks out here is going to be IBIT.
Great trade, Joe. Great trade, Joe. All right, Adara, is this a good move by Kelly Ortberg and company to better navigate China?
Yeah, go Kelly. I think it's a really nice look for Boeing. If you look at Boeing's chart, too, it's interesting. It kind of went higher here when we heard that Airbus CEO, so rival company of Boeing, but obviously in the same sector here, going to speak with someone in China. They're going to talk to Chinese regulatory authorities. So nice push up here off the open for Boeing as we had that news. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good look here for BA. And as you mentioned, Boeing's role in the trade negotiations is really interesting. So keep an eye on this stock next week when, again, on Thursday, I did get confirmation there. We're going to get President Xi speaking to China, or speaking to Donald Trump in South Korea. So Chinese president, U.S. president. Since Boeing has been a major bargaining chip in these trade deals, I would say this is absolutely a stock to watch. In addition, of course, to the KWEB and the FXI on Thursday with those meetings. And good job, Kelly Ortberg, for what you're doing there.
All right. Look good, look good, look. I want to mention, shout out to Yannick, who's mentioning IREN, I-R-E-N, apparently breaking out. Let's take a look at that. Before we go on to the next story, we're going to talk about SAP, who reported earnings. Yes, great call out, brother, there on IREN. Really just basically a buy from 8:30 onwards. The last triple bottom that we put there right around 51 bucks, and since that time we're up a healthy 11.33% from those 8 a.m. lows. So look, keep an eye out here for IREN trading into 57 bucks. Shout out to Yannick for the good call out there. All right, let's go on to SAP. A lot of people saying, you know, this is one of Europe's best AI companies, this and Mistral, of course, which ASML took an interest in. But let's talk about SAP. CEO Christian Klein said AI is now the #1 reason their clients are seeking new deals, which is underscoring, of course, their transformation into an enterprise AI leader. He highlighted that 80 to 85% of next year's revenue is already secured. That's crazy. Signaling strong visibility heading into 2026. That's a typo. Thanks, chat, for elucidating there. Their cloud backlog surged. We heard this again from Oracle, their backlog. Cloud backlog surged for SAP 23% year over year, up to $18.6 16.8 billion euros. He said, the CEO said that the Q4 will be SAP's biggest quarter ever, Joseph, driven by AI-led demand in cloud infrastructure and business process automation. When it comes to numbers, revenue, 9.08 billion euro, which is about $10.5 billion, an increase of 7% year over year, but was a slight miss below the 9.15 billion euros the street wanted. As I mentioned, cloud revenue was up bigly, 22%, supported by expanding AI and cloud offerings. Despite the minor revenue softness, cloud and AI segments outperformed markedly here, positioning them for continued margin expansion. What do you make of this? It's not a company that we typically cover all that.
No, it's not. And that's the thing. I'm going to get you to skip me on this one. I'm looking at something.
Sure.
Yeah, if we could go to a dare on there, guys. What I'm thinking right now, why is because I want to go through some profiles on some contracts here via IBIT, because this breakout is really strong and we're holding that support level. So I want to start opening up an aggressive swing. So I'm going to be looking at some profiles.
You're going to get an aggressive swing. I'm liking the sounds of that. Aradera, we covered this in the aftermarket yesterday. What do you think of this move here? You like what SAP is doing with AI?
Yeah, I mean, I like that they have 80 to 85% of next year's revenue already secured. They're kind of pulling an Oracle, right, where you've got this RPO, remaining performance obligations. It's not like Oracle, the only company that's done that, but they've done it pretty notably. Anyways, I think having this backlog, having this revenue secured going forward, never a bad look. The fact that it slightly missed estimates for revenue, not a great look, but again, 7% year-over-year increase in revenue, 22% year-over-year increase in cloud revenue. Cloud, certainly, like AI, an area that's going to be on watch. I don't think it's a bad report.
John, I see your mood lighting there. This is temporary, brother. This entire setup here is temporary as we build out. So yes, there's going to be plenty of lighting. Everyone will be framed beautifully. You needn't worry. It is coming soon. Guys, I want to mention SOC broke 14 aggressively. So I added, we had like 1340s or something like that. But the 14 break was quite decisive, 1421. Here it comes into the high of the day. I'm posting at the $0.25, looking for more here on SOC. Shout out to Benton, man. He gave me this one. Good stair stepper. Here comes the hot stepper. Let's go, man. Let's take out more a little bit into that area high. Good look right now for SOC as it really squeezes through that $0.25, looking for the $0.50, up 20.5%. Let's go on to the next story, though. Reddit. Oh, this is interesting here. We didn't report on this in the morning, but they're pissed. And they're pissed at Perplexity, and here's why. Reddit has filed a lawsuit against AI search startup Perplexity, accusing it of illegally scraping users' posts to train its AI model. Say it ain't so. Nobody does that. I'm being sarcastic, of course. The suit was filed in New York, also naming Oxy Labs, AWM Proxy, and Serpy AI. I don't know who these companies are, as co-defendants in aiding the data collection scraping. The allegations by Reddit are that the scrapers disguised their identities and masqueraded as regular users to bypass the technical barriers that Reddit had put on. Perplexity called Reddit's claims extortion, arguing it only summarizes and cites public Reddit data rather than training its models. So we know the industry context is very much litigious right now, especially with the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal, or whoever the hell it is, suing Chat. The case adds to the growing wave of lawsuits by content platforms against AI developers over unauthorized data use. Reddit already has a pending case against Anthropic, so they've already done this before. And we know that they're going to do this, Joey, because they've made very specifically about a year ago that they were very interested in selling their user data for AI training, not to give it away for free. So what do you make of this whole thing? Are we just going to keep seeing more of this?
Probably. I think at the end of the day, as for Reddit, I think this name's been on a fantastic run. Stealing data to train, I think that's going to be the narrative and what everybody's been up to. What was it? Do you think that's going to be the case? Because we know with Google and the antitrust, they have to release some of their data now. Remember that was what the judge declared, right? So do you think that we'll see that through some of these LLMs? It's like, hey, we have access to this. Perplexity, you have OpenAI doing all these things. So could that be similar to what we're experiencing right now?
Well, I could see a scenario where you can use the data, but then you'd have to pay like some standard, some standard fee. Ideally, there's a contract between the two companies so that you don't have to end up in litigation, right? And that's what I think the New York Times OpenAI lawsuit was all about. But we'll have to wait and see.
I mean, but as for Reddit, guys, we IPO'd what it was in March of 24. This name's been trading phenomenally. It's up 364%, and you usually don't see that too often in some of these IPOs. You go back to the likes of CoreWeave. I mean, obviously it's apples to oranges here at this point, but CoreWeave doing pretty good as well. Circle, what has that been up to? Not performing as well, but RDDT, there was growth across the board in their previous report, and I think that it's going to be just fine at the end of the day. Let's see what's going on, obviously, with this perplexity.
All right, just before I want to talk a little bit more about this before we send it to Adair, but GameStop is breaking out right now. GME, good move here for GME. Look at that clean move above 23 bucks. We're now knocking the door of 23 1/4. I'm not seeing anything with respect to, pardon me? Bitcoin, okay. The good call, Neil, because they did add Bitcoin to their balance sheet. That makes a lot of sense. So GME breaking out at the high of the day right now, 23.43 or 23.45. I just want to point that out to you guys. But before we send it to Adair, I want to point this out, Assassino. Reddit's made a move, as Joseph and I were talking about, to monetize its massive data pool, and it's restricting access except through paid users. The company already has agreements. We're talking about Reddit. Already has agreements with OpenAI, already has an agreement with Google, and they're generating now about 10% of their total revenue as of 2025 from these licensing agreements. So needless to say, Adara, that they will defend this staunchly because that revenue number of 10% could just grow higher.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm just typing out this headline for you guys here on crypto, and I'm also listening to Caroline Levitt, so I can't hear that well. I apologize. Either way here, Bloomberg, as you guys just see here, reporting that crypto leaders, including Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, are apparently met with Democratic leaders on Capitol Hill to discuss the crypto market structure bill that's set to be passed next year. So again, crypto on watch with that. We also had Caroline Levitt just comment here on CZ and his pardon. This is, of course, a finance leader formerly, basically just saying that Trump has his right to use his clemency power and that CZ's prosecution and targeting was unfair, an example of how the previous administration was not a fan of crypto. Now, I want to move on here to Reddit. Yeah, I think we're probably going to see more similar suits like this. We know there's been some back and forth as well, usually on the opposite side here with stuff like New York, I guess, same kind of idea, New York Times, et cetera, these news sources going after OpenAI. Now we're seeing Reddit going after Perplexity. So I think it's an interesting look. I expect, as I said, we're probably going to see a lot more of this. But I didn't get the extent to which they're monetizing their data pool. I didn't quite realize. And I think because they're doing that too, it makes sense. You don't want anybody else on your turf. We'll have to wait and see, though, how a judge rules in this, because I think once we start getting rulings on these suits, it'll probably set a pretty clear precedent that maybe dictates how we proceed going forward in these types of cases.
Oh, yeah, Nate Sr., come on, man.
All right, Meta. We've been hearing a lot about Meta, Joey, hiring people. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's wrong with that guy, but and anyway, Meta's firing. Well, I hate to say this in a gleeful way, and that's not how I mean it, but Meta will cut around 600 employees within its AI division as part of a broader, effort to streamline their operations and move faster in product development. The impacted teams are going to be AI infrastructure, as well as FAIR, a division they call Fundamental Artificial Intelligence Research, and other product-linked groups. The employees in the TBD lab, which is a unit housing Meta's newest and highest profile AI hires, were not affected. So the new people that they were just doling out money to, it looks like they're not going to be as affected here. They received notification that termination will be on the 21st of November. Just looking over here, it looks like Alexander Wang, which is the new AI chief of Meta, were announced by him. He's formerly, of course, of Scale AI, and he was brought in when Meta acquired that $14.3 billion deal with Scale AI. The reorganization aims to centralize decision-making, apparently, and solidify Wang's authority as the head of Meta's Superintelligence Lab, which is a newly formed elite AI group. They're spending a whole lot of money. Other than that, Joey, other than the layoffs here, do you make anything of this within the overall AI push by Meta?
No, I think it's good. We were talking about this for some time. It's funny because Alexander Wang, isn't that a fashion designer as well, too?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I am pretty sure. But no, I like it. I like this talent pool. Sharief, Boeing, sorry, we're going to get down. Perplexity. Yeah, I mean, we heard about the restructuring a while ago as well, too.
Okay.
Apparently, there was some controversy within that, within the groups or whatever was going on. But yeah, I think it's good. I'm waiting to see what these guys put together. He spent all of this money. It's like he's putting essentially the best players all into one team, and I'm looking forward to what they can come out with.
All right, Adara, they spent a lot of money acquiring new people. Are they now looking to save a little bit by moving some people that they feel are redundant?
I mean, it makes sense. There's going to be some reorganization, right? You get all these people here. What are you going to do with them? How are you going to move them around? I think generally the common opinion I've seen on this, and I think is a pretty interesting thing to note, is that apparently, like Alexander Wang, right, writing this, announcing this letter, announcing these layoffs, I think it shows that he's really taking charge of his AI role, and I think it's a good look. It shows, A, Mark Zuckerberg is putting a lot of trust and faith in him, and B, he's kind of setting this up. He got all the hires there. He rearranged the team. Now he's letting his new leader kind of take over from that point. So I actually really like this. I think it shows that Mark Zuckerberg may be going to take over other parts of the company, but he's going to let the AI expert that he has in his realm work on the AI aspect of things. Now, hopefully, I guess if they get new hires in this space, they're going to know what they're doing. I would trust Alexander Wang with this. It's clear Mark Zuckerberg does as well. And I think, again, Zuckerberg letting Alexander Wang take the lead on this, I think that is maybe the key takeaway from my perspective.
All right, sounds good. Let's go on to the next topic. This is important here because it has, more reverberations than just for oil. But the U.S. is looking at sanctioning Russian oil giants, which is igniting market volatility. Let's see where oil is at. 5.5% back above $60. So President Donald Trump sanctioned Russia's top oil firms Rosneft and Lukoil, marking a sharp U-turn after recently signaling plans for a peace summit with President Putin. The move targets over 5% of the global oil output, of course, by Russia. Trump said he canceled the Budapest summit, claiming talks with Putin weren't getting the place that we have to get, but I know he made comments after that. So we'll get to that in a second. Analysts see this as Trump's most severe measure yet to pressure Moscow to end the 4-year war. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the sanctions aim to cripple Russia's new war funding with potential for further action if needed. U.S. allies as well, mostly Europe here, have been urged to join the restrictions, while companies have until November 21st to wind down business with the sanctioned producers, the ones that we mentioned at the top. Russia's oil and gas revenue, Joey, down 21% year over year. Yeah. It represents about 25% of their national budget. So this will have a marked impact on their ability. Now let's just cut the crap.
Yeah.
President Biden refused to do this, okay? He didn't want to do this because oil prices were very high during his presidency. He didn't want to add to the higher oil prices. Yeah. Germany, for their part, they also refused to do this because they don't want to shellac their economy as well. Why is the political will changing now? Is it because oil's at $55?
It could be possibly. Didn't India just reduce?
And India is going to stop buying from them as well.
So
winding down.
So it is really starting to wind down. I mean, if that's how you got to do it, if you got to suffocate this war and the funding of it, by all means, just get it over with. That's where I stand consistently. I told you I watched some things on it, and it's just it's really, really sad. So whatever it takes, 5,000% tariffs, eliminate all exports, no more importing Russian oil, whatever it takes, just get it done, get the war over with, and I think that's Donald Trump's motive there.
Yeah, it looks like that's accurate. All right, Dara, I know that President Trump made comments subsequent to the writing of this article. Give us your take.
Well, yeah, I think right now, actually, Caroline Leavitt's just giving her take. It's crazy. The timing of this is wild. Caroline Leavitt saying that a meeting with Putin is, quote, not completely off the table, but that the sanctions came right now because she was asked by a reporter, why did Trump decide to do these sanctions right now? She said, I guess he felt like yesterday was the day to do them. Not really a lot of context as to why yesterday, but either way, there's been this escalation. We know the relationship between Putin and Trump has become increasingly tense. And even earlier today, Putin said that he still wants to do a meeting with Trump. He said that hopefully their meeting that was supposed to be happening that's now been canceled, he says he hopes it's just postponed. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here and how this escalates. Now, the chart I have up here is for Nutrien, NTR. NTR and MOS were the other non-oil stocks that really made nice moves up yesterday on this news. And as you can see, this is a 15-minute chart doing nicely today as well. Potash. That's going to be maybe an area to look at this story beyond oil. But yeah, I think, a lot of this seems like a long time coming with regards to these sanctions. We were kind of wondering when they were going to happen. They happened yesterday. The stock is, or these stocks, this market is now reacting.
Derek, go ahead, Joey.
Thomas Kondo, why can't you get out, though? I don't understand. I don't know how much size you have or anything along those lines. Your average is 3. It's trading at 301 right now. It was up to 305. The liquidity is there. What do you mean you can't get out? I don't understand. You have to elaborate a little bit more on that for me. As for IBIT, we're out of this one, guys. Again, we were just churning shares on this. Attempt number 1, we get stopped out. 90% there. We get another move, a small stop out. We hammer it one more time, Sharief, and then we were fortunate enough to catch that big breakout in IBIT.
Sounds good, Joey. All right, let's go on to the next story. We're talking about Beyond Meat, Beyond Crap. It's put me red on the day. Let's talk about this. One's valued over $14 billion. It's become a speculative meme stock, so the article writes after years of decline. Shares hit recently 50 pennies. That's down, Joey, from $240. I don't laugh. In the 2019 peak. The company's core issue remains weak, though. The core issue remains weak demand for expensive plant-based meat amid inflation and, of course, consumer health. Beyond Meat never posted an annual profit, and sales have declined since 2022. And as I showed you guys this morning on the rundown, the last 3 months, the short float, the percentage of the float that's board for short, increased from 25 to 35. Now it's between 65 to 80%. And could be a little bit different here, Joey, given that the price actions developed lately. So, what do you think here, Beyond Meat? This is sort of a good time, not a long time.
You know what I'm waiting for?
Yes, sir.
Next, Sharief?
What are you waiting?
Beyond Meat adds Bitcoin to their balance sheet, and then watch what's going to happen.
That's crazy.
It's going to. I mean, I wouldn't be. Would you be surprised if that happened?
No,
not at all.
not.
But in all seriousness, guys, the GME craze, the AMC, the meme stocks. Ask me how much I've traded of that. I did not participate in those names. Yes, there's the potential for some big-time moves, but I want something with some real fundamental backing. I understand it's a short squeeze, high levels of short interest, but look how much, it was so fun for a couple of days, but then all it did was trap people at some highs. And then sure enough, now you're trading at $3. Let's pull up the actual underlying. It's already lost significant amounts of value. And people who aren't informed and aren't doing this from a day-to-day basis, yes, there are individuals buying it all the way up here at 770, Sharief.
Yes, sir.
And now we're trading at $3. That's 60% gone, just like that.
Just like that.
In one day. You have to be cautious. You really have to know what you're doing, and you can't bag hold these whatsoever because the chances of this going back up to $7 are extremely low. It's funny, we were talking about this last night as well, too. I believe it was on Tuesday. I brought up the options chain, and the gamma exposure was through the roof. That can explain the squeeze that we experienced a couple days ago. That absolutely cooled off. This is just one potential indicator that say, hey, you're not going to go back into this world. You have to be careful when you're trading these meme stocks. It's that simple.
Okay, all right. Adara, last one before we send it to the big boys. Beyond Meat, big short interest increasing month over month.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting one here. Now, we know usually these won't last very long, but I think only 3 days. And then, of course, the gap up and the tumult that happened yesterday. I feel like it usually is a little bit longer than that, so I find it interesting, I guess, how bang to bust or boom to bust, whatever word you want to use, BYND ended up being. Even today, this uptrend off the open breaking down a little bit into the afternoon. So I think one thing I do want to add, which is not necessarily related, but I do think it is pretty interesting, is Martin Shkreli, after losing on his open door short, getting out right before it actually dropped, he actually looks like he had a winner in this. I mean, again, we just know what he said, but he said he started getting short in BYND on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday morning, bright and early, he announced he actually added to the short position. So either way, I mean, like, one person here is happy, and that would be Pharma Bro Shkreli. But yeah, BYND, the stock here is certainly not happy today. And again, as Joe said, as Sharief was saying here, this is about the importance of understanding what type of stock you're in. This is not a slow and steady, wins the race type of name. This is a get in quickly, take your profits, do what you need to do, and scram. And I think BYND really proved that lesson yesterday.
At the go ahead, Joey.
No, sorry, I didn't know we had
at the intersection of science and crypto innovation, Silo Pharma, under the Nasdaq ticker SILO, is rewriting the playbook. Their lead drug, SPC15, is advancing towards FDA submission, which is a potential first-in-class intranasal treatment for PTSD and anxiety, with data already showing strong safety results. At the same time, Silo is expanding its digital assets model, Joey, investing in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, while securing cutting-edge technology designed to strengthen the future-proof its crypto strategy. From a lab to a ledger, Silo Pharma is where breakthrough science meets blockchain innovation. Learn more at silopharma.com.
Good stuff. It's 2 o'clock. So, guys, one thing before we send it off, and I thought about this for some time. And when I brought to you guys the call of the day, I said, hey, the IV is extremely high. Be cautious of it. You're going to be paying extended premium, not the route that you should necessarily go. It's actually significantly safer to buy calls in a name like BYND than it is to go shares. Why? Because you can only lose the value of the premium. If you put in X amount of dollars, you can lose the whole investment, right? The options chain, it's 50 cents whatever per contract. That is the max you can lose. You can lose absolutely every single dollar that you put into BYND, considering if you punch in at 70. So if you're asking me, it's actually a little bit safer to trade options because of the fixed risk on it.
And so, like, you want to do a quick? Do you guys have time? Yeah. Okay. So can we do a quick analysis right now, Joey? So bring on the options chain.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's see if we wanted to get in, for example, let's just do 500 shares of GME.
Yeah,
let's just see.
How much would you mean, right?
BYND, excuse me. So if it cost us $500 a share, right now it's $3. It's $3 on the dot right now, Joe. So 5 times 3, it's $1,500. Okay. If we wanted to get something similar of a beta or an equivalent move, how much would the premium cost us in the options?
In this one, $150. Or more, times that by 5, so $200.
$200, and that would be the max loss.
$250, sorry.
So that's $250. That would be your max loss.
That's your max loss.
But that's assuming, of course, BYND goes to 0, right? Because BYND would have to go to 0 from $3.
We can pull up the profile right now, and we can display it when you're going to lose all of when you're going to lose all of that money.
All right, let's watch it.
Excuse me. So hold on. Did I BYND
Take your time,
$3?
The big boys are good.
Clear all legs. Let's get this started. Party started once again. Yeah, I have this.
And beyond. I just want to say it's not beyond the realm of possibility that this thing goes to 0. It was just at 50 cents not that long ago. So
you lose essentially all your money at $2 right now, approximately. Yeah, when it goes down to $2.31, essentially that contract isn't worth anything.
I see. Yeah. Okay, so that's I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
there.
you